All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Fire Emblem Revelation Gen 1 unit guide. I am joined here by Lag Spike. Say hello.
Hello.
And yeah, this is not going to be a tier list, but this is going to be a kind of a guide on who makes the game the easiest on just a kind of like low investment playthrough and like who's just the simplest to use to beat the game. So going through the tiers, I can explain these. At the top is meta-defining. These are the best units in the game for just making your life easier. That can be Corrin, who you have to deploy no matter what, so you might as well use them. Azura, who's your dancer, or just like really strong pre-promote units like Ryoma.
Basically, we're talking about units that are transformative, significantly transformative to the way that to your run and how you can interact with the game. Like, without these units, the way you could interact with the game would be significantly diminished and much worse.
Yeah. Low investment is kind of similar to meta-defining, but to a lesser degree. It's just units that are generally pretty good, but they do need a little bit more help than the units in meta-defining, but not too much. They're easy to use and just pick up and train without any special investment.
Yeah.
Medium investment is kind of similar to low investment, but they'll probably want some extra support like a heart seal or like a specific pair up backpack to fix up some stats that they might struggle in. And then high investment is they need a lot of help to be really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, I if this is similar to the one that I did, high investment, low investment, medium investment aren't necessarily better or worse than each other. They're just categorizing units into how much investment they need to reach their full potential. Their best return on investment, how much investment do they need? So if a unit in high investment might be better than one of the units in low investment if the investment pays off massively. But yeah, this is more of a categorization as opposed to a ranking. The meta-defining units are good and the bad units are bad, but the investment tiers are just a way of categorizing units so that, like, let's say, so it's basically like you don't want to deploy like half the meta-defining cast and then all high investment units because you just don't have the kind of resources to support that entire army. So it's just to make it so that you can categorize easier.
Utility is like units, they can be like served as combat units, but you know, talking about utility units and pairing them with units that aren't specifically for utility is a little shaky. So what most people will do, and what I'm doing here, is having a separate tier for units that are specifically best used as utility units. And here it's like specifically like pair up bots and rally bots and just like general healing staff bots, whether it be for their like weapon ranks or whatever,
range based buffs, whatever.
And then bad is the units that are dog shit, actual horrible. Don't really use them unless you actively want to make your run a bit more interesting or challenging. So yeah, with that out of the way, I guess we can go ahead and get started with the first unit being Corrin.
I'm gonna need you to put Jakob into utility first, because this man is he's not the GOAT like he used to be. First of all, in this game, Jakob falls off, like realistically speaking, like Jakob does absolutely fall off. The fact that he can access a class that's promoted is great, but you do get a lot of like very good pre-promotes. Your Corrin gets a lot of EXP really early on, so they can promote too. Him being in a promoted class by itself is not that important. The fact that he can get promoted skills earlier is nice, but like what you need to understand is that Jakob and Felicia, their stats aren't that great. They're like trample on Jakob and strength +2 on Jakob is good, but it's like even before you hit Valley, it's only going to serve to bring him up to par with the rest of your units that just have better strength stats. Now, if you want to use Jakob as a combat unit, the nice thing is that you can really easily kit him out however you want. Because does he maintain his A+ support with Gunter in this game?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Well, I guess that doesn't matter either way because he would still get Cavalier. But
yeah.
Because he's a unit that you can get in all routes, he has access to a ton of marriage options and friendship options. So that's a very good benefit for him. But at the end of the day, I think you probably will end up having to retire him. If you can't find somebody better to use a heart seal on, then yeah, sure, Jacob is probably fine. But he's best as a support unit in this game. And similarly, I think Felicia is also best as a support unit. The nice thing about Jacob and Felicia is that inspiration is something that never gets worse. It's always completely broken, and getting a 8 move staff user with inspiration is never going to make your run anywhere close to worse. I would say Felicia is better because she just heals better. But because as a utility unit, I think Felicia is just better because that's just what she does. And like, if you keep her in maid, any unit that gets a C support with her just gets 4 free speed on pair up, which is pretty fucking absurd.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Jacob and Felicia are a lot better as combat units in Birthright and Revelation, or not Birthright and Revelation, Birthright and Conquest, because the enemies don't really outstat the units as highly as they do in Revelation. In Rev, they need a lot more support than normal to actually like keep up their status as a strong combat unit. They can certainly still do it, but it is a lot harder, and it's a lot easier to just have them go into a full support role, especially Felicia.
I mean, I think we can all just agree on putting Corrin in meta defining, right?
Yeah, I mean,
any class in the game, give that class to anybody in the game, access to any class in the game. And the big kicker there is that private quarters is a Corrin exclusive thing. So getting those A supports with units of the same gender is much easier in this game. There's a ton of Corrin sexuals in Revelation, and a lot of them are very good, and Corrin being able to support them like when you want them to be, they're doing the comp. So if your Corrin's in like a really good grounded class, and you're with Reina, you're giving her the support, that's going to help out your army a lot. No matter what, your Corrin cannot not be good. Especially like Corrin's already great in Conquest, but then you add the fact that there's 2 chapters where pretty much Corrin is the only like real receiver of EXP, that being chapter 6 and chapter 7 in this game. That makes Corrin have such a massive level advantage and potentially weapon rank advantage, if you want it to be that way, over the rest of the army, that it's absurd. I would say Corrin is the best unit in Revelation.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. The big thing is a lot of people give praise to chapter 15 in Conquest for being a Corrin training map. That's basically the same thing as what happens in chapter 6, 7, and 8 in Revelation, where Corrin is really the only combat unit that you have, especially if you're using like Felicia as your servant, because then Corrin is just kind of really the only unit that can do a substantial amount of damage. So you're going to have them snowball really, really quickly. And some people can even like end up promoting Corrin before chapter 9 because of that, and that just lets them snowball even further. On top of that, because the entire Revelation cast is here, the entire Fates cast pretty much, Corrin really does have access to pretty much whatever class they want. It does not matter. Eventually you will get a unit here that probably has a class that Corrin's going to want.
The only time where like you would, like, theoretically speaking, the Oni Savage as male Corrin is a commitment of marriage. Other than that, there is like zero cost in getting any like all the classes on Corrin if you just wait long enough for private quarters. How do you feel about Mozu in this game? Like, I like Mozu in Rev, but I'm not sure if she's like good.
I like Bozu. I don't like Mozu.
Yeah, but I mean, Mozu is Bozu. Like, let's be real here. Unless you're Bopper, you're not putting her in Villager.
Yeah, so Mozu is, I think she's a fine, like, medium investment unit. She actually, if you do recruit her early, she does pretty well if you give her a heart seal and start feeding into her in the first few chapters. She gets quick draw super early, so she's going to be one of your few units that can actually do, like, super good damage. And then also, if you recruit her before chapter 10 is the snow map, where you can get like a lot of like really easy training on her done there. Same with chapter 8 if you really want. I know we mentioned that Corrin, it's kind of like a Corrin training map, but you can get Mozu first if you really want to, and then start training her there, which is not a horrible idea.
Like, I'm looking at these units, I'm gonna be honest here, with the sole exception of like the Corrin and then maybe Sakura, and like Felicia and Jacob technically, but they're pretty fine in Maiden Butler until you get that your third heart seal. I really don't see anybody that's actually wanting to reclass here, like straight up. I don't see anybody here that wants to reclass until until I don't know, until Selena really. But even then, she wants a partner seal. I think that the fact that Mozu really only needs a heart seal, I think that she's honestly like low investment. A heart seal is not a real cost in this game like it is in Conquest, where there's Corrin, Felicia, and Jacob, Mozu, and Elise that you have for 2 heart seals, and you do need to be doing those earlier rather than later because it would be for the best if you did them early. Here, there's some heart seal units, but you either recruit them late, like Shura, or you want to get the heart seals, or put the heart seals on them late, like somebody like, who was I gonna say? Like Sakura. She's a great heart seal unit, but you don't want to use the heart seal on her immediately. You want to use the heart seal on her a little later.
Yeah. The only other contender that I would really say would be like fine with a heart seal like earlier than Mozu is Gunter to get early rally defense, but that's like if you don't want that, because you don't need to do that, then Mozu is definitely your best option. And you do get a free heart seal if you're worried about buying it. You get one in chapter 9.
I mean, and can I be real here? If you're doing this Gunter shit, just use the heart seal to reclass your maid into a strategist, and they'll eventually get inspiration. And now you effectively have rally defense, but active on both phases, like before using their action, as long as they're in the right positioning, and you get a healer on top of it.
Yeah, but we can both agree on medium investment, right?
I kind of like putting her in low investment, but I guess we could, like, I can't really think of that many like low investment units that aren't like meta defining. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we can see it later. We can think about it later. That's fine. Medium investment is fine for now.
All right. Azura.
Oh yeah, Azura meta defining. She's the only unit that I could even consider being better than Corrin in this game, straight up. It's like, so Revelation enemy quality is kind of like FE6 enemy quality, except your hit rates work. And Azura giving you an extra action and being able to be like so much easier to use, because Revelation is not a game that's going to just throw random bullshit ambush spawns at you that just kill your dancer out of nowhere. It's a game that you can trust. It might be boring at times, it might be like unfun, but you can trust the game not to fuck you over just for the sake of fucking you over. The point is that like Azura, the value that Azura provides is pretty much about like the highest value that you can get. Her value is applicable. I mean, we all know this. Dancers are fucking broken, but then Azura is even more broken on top of that, because like the worst thing you can do with Azura, the least powerful thing you can do with Azura is get her infinite EXP, get her to level 40 like as soon as you want. That's the least powerful thing that Azura enables you to do. So if you can imagine that like the most powerful things that Azura allows you to do are pretty fucking crazy. Shelter obviously helps. Even though you don't get that many shelter units, unfortunately, until like later in this game. Gunter's the only one that can shelter early on. But even then, like, Gunter's really not going to be doing much with his turn, so using his turn to shelter is pretty fine. She's just good, man. It's Fates, it's Azura, it's a dancer. What can you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very telling when, like, it doesn't matter what tier list you look at, she's always in the top 3 units for all 3 routes. And it's like she's just good. She gets... singing does get slightly annoying in Vala with all the flyer-only terrain, but it's still a very solid option, especially if you're deploying a full team and like actually playing through the maps outright. And like it's never an incorrect choice to deploy Azura.
Yeah, and also there's some stuff that Azura only can do. Like this is a bit niche, but the map, I think it's the map when you fight Gunter. Azura is the only other unit than Corrin that has that 8-tile radius around her that gives you the stat bonuses against the enemies. That's one thing that Azura and Corrin are the only ones that can do. Azura also is the reason that you can do all these chapter skips on chapters where it's applicable. Like especially like that chapter where you fight Gunter is also chapter 27, I think, the one right before endgame, the one where you're fighting the face. That's one that Azura allows you to skip easily. Azura also gives you speed, which is good because benchmarks are actually like a thing that you have to work a bit harder in this game to achieve. She just lets you do pretty much anything you want.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Sakura next.
All right.
I fucking love using Sakura in this game. She's high investment as fuck, but she's very good with the investment. Sakura is like the thing about Fates is that stat XP is not great, but the maps in Revelation play significantly slower than the other games. Sakura, you have a good incentive to deploy Sakura, which is her personal. Quiet Strength is a very solid personal, just gives you -2 damage to all allies within 2 spaces. that's already good enough reason to deploy her. She's also your second healer if you haven't if you are using Felicia and Jacob as healers, which is fair. And Sun Vestals and Men staffs give a decent amount of EXP. And you do loot a decent amount of like. There's a lot of Fates does this thing where it just gives you a bunch of staves that are fucking ass, but like there's a bunch of staves that you would never buy, like the Wayne Festal and the Physic and whatnot. But you do get like a copy of them from like chests and stuff, and selling them is just not worth it. So you can use them for EXP. Sakura can basically get to level 10, instantly promote into Onmyoji. Once she hits level 5, she can go into Falcon Knight, and then either struggle or like get arms scrolled up to C rank lances, and then she does Bolt Naginata stuff along with healing pretty much until endgame with 3 rallies on her. And you would be surprised at how valuable that is. The enemies in Rev are very fucking tanky, and Bolt Naginata combined with Sakura's pretty good magic stat, it can do you a lot of favors. You can also buy rescue staves in Birthright. In Revelation. You can buy in Birthright in Revelation. So Sakura being an 8-move staff user that can fly is also good. And lances, or rather Naginatas, are good in this game, unlike in Conquest, because in Conquest the only real lance that's like, oh man, I'm fucking happy to have a lance right now, is the Beast Killer. Whereas in this game, you still have the Beast Killer, but you also have the Guard Naginata, the Bolt Naginata, and the Dual Naginata, all of which Sakura can use pretty well. Her strength is not great, but it's if she's using like a Dual Naginata against like an adventurer or something, because of Darting Blow she'll be able to double, and because of the Weapon Triangle bonuses she'll probably be able to one round. She's a very solid high investment unit.
Yeah, her strength is actually pretty passable, especially depending on her class routing. But yeah, she has a lot of tools that she can use that are just like unreal, and the fact that you get her so early lets you get her a lot of like good easy training in, because like who else are you using really at that point in the game? And it's like really quick. Like she's a deployable unit, for example, in chapter 10. And in chapter 10, you really want a healer, because while you can use the many vulneraries you get in Revelation, it's still always better to use a healer, not only for like the unit's experience, but also just to save the vulneraries on a map that might matter more. And the fact that she just has like that amazing personal skill, those amazing like access to rallies, and even way later down the line, if you really want to go grab this, she can get Amaterasu. Her utility doesn't really stop ever, and then she also has a good enough stat in strength and a really good stat in magic for her to actually like keep up with the Rev enemies, which not a lot of units can really say.
Her only real bad stats are like HP and defense, and even then her HP is like kind of passable, surprisingly. Like you'd be shocked at how good. Like, hold on, let's see, Veil, Rev, and this is with early promoting her. If she can hit benchmarks with early promotion, which is not something a lot of units can actually say. Level 10 Shrine Maiden, level 5 Onmyoji, level 15 Falcon Knight. She hits 21 magic, 26 speed, along with Darting Blow, and damn, she's 16 defense. That's surprising. That's probably more. She's probably got a better bulk than Reina at that point.
Yeah, she's decently bulky. She has like generally good stats and growths throughout the entire game.
Her hit rates might be a little shaky, but like, you do what you can. You want to talk about Gunter now?
Yeah, sure. So Gunter, I think he's an awful combat unit. The best thing you can do with him is use him as a utility bot.
And even then, I feel like it falls off, because like the support is part of what makes Gunter's like utility in Conquest for pair up good. Because if you're Mailcorn with no investment, you can just get an A support and get access to Cav from him, so you really don't have to. If you could support Gunter in this game, that would be so clutch, because like you could just get Cav access for free, and that's a free, pretty early elbow room access, and that's stonks right there. But unfortunately, supporting Gunter is just not a thing that you can do in this game. So you just have to take the L there and just use his personal, which is admittedly still very good, for as long as you can get value out of it for, and then probably bench him for one of the backpacks that you can get.
Yeah, early on, he's by far Corrin's best backpack for a long time. He gives 5 strength in his like base class, 1 movement, and then like 15 hit, which is
15 hit, 4 defense at least.
Insane. And there's a lot of situations where, like, even in Chapter 7, his join map, there's a Berserker that has Gamble and he's standing on a fort. And it's, like, probably one of the scarier enemies in early game Rev to actually fight. But Gunter's pair-up makes Corrin pretty much always 100% accurate against that Berserker, so it makes it a little bit less annoying.
No, Gunter's just good. Like, he gets you. He's also actually your first flyer. If you don't have Corrin in a flyer class, which I do recommend, but if you want to do, like, Rev is the game where you get into this game because you want to do some really stupid shit, and if you're doing that stupid shit, then there's probably a very good reason you want your Corrin to be a different class. So Gunter can give you access to an extra flyer for Fu's Mild Ride and stuff like that. He's just a good early game unit. Like, people say that Gunter is a shit Jagan, and he kind of is, but, like, in the sense that he falls off and what he does for you is valuable, he's still actually a pretty reasonable textbook Jagan. It's just that what he does for you is not combat, which is what Jagans traditionally do. What he does for you is support.
Yeah, and he also has really nice weapon ranks I want to mention, because he starts with, like, C lances, D swords, and D axes. So he immediately has access to, like, pretty much every powerful lance that he could want as soon as, like, level 2 shops are unlocked.
That's pretty fucking correct.
Yeah, and he gets instant access to every 1-2 range weapon in the like main weapon triangle, which is really, really good. But yeah, he's just a solid early game option. Does fall off, but, you know, fates is fates, so...
Dude, I don't know how to feel about Kaze, because, like, ninjas are good, but, like, his strength actually does kind of suck ass in this game. Like, real talk. Like, you gotta get him that Rinkah support rolling ASAP. Otherwise, it's gonna get a whole lot worse before it gets better. I'll put it that way. Thankfully, Kaze is one of those units like Felicia and Jacob, where they're accessible in all routes, so they have a ton of support options. So even if Rinkah is you're planning on marrying Rinkah to somebody, you're planning on marrying Beruka to somebody, you're planning on marrying Effie to somebody, and you're planning on marrying fucking who else? You're planning on who's another unit that gives strength and defense?
Scarlet.
Yeah, and you're planning on marrying Charlotte to somebody else, you could still probably figure something out for him. You could probably get him with, like, Oboro or something like that if you really needed the help that bad. Like, there's always an option for getting Kaze the stats he needs, which is something that you can't always say for a lot of these units. And, like, the nice thing about Kaze is that there is a payoff at the end of the road here. If you use Kaze, he will eventually become good, which also is more than you can say for the next 3 units. Kaze, like, the nice thing about it is that, like, he gives movement on pair up, so he can help you move around the maps quicker. He has 1-2 range, which is nice. You get shuriken access in this game, and shurikens are just better than daggers pretty much universally. And another nice thing about shurikens is that you get access to the sting shuriken, which means that the ninja's armor matchup is a lot more tenable than it would be in the other games. And by the other games, I mean literally just Conquest, because you get access to Sing Shuriken and Birthright as well. The Flame Shuriken is not a Kaze thing. That's a Saizo, a Sugi, that's a whatever thing. But the Sting Shuriken is pretty good. He gets access, he can use the Steel Shuriken well. Like, you can forge up a Steel Shuriken for him because he has so much speed. It's valuable. The thing about Steels is that we normally don't use them, partially because they don't give crit void, and partially because they don't have good hit. Kaze does not worry about hit. Shurikens don't worry about hit, and the nice thing about Steels is that they do actually have. So normally, if you have a bronze weapon, right, you get a bronze weapon +1. It's equal to an iron weapon's might. But an iron weapon +1 or a bronze weapon +2 is not actually equal to a steel weapon's might. It's actually 1 less than a steel weapon's might. So the steel weapon does have a damage output advantage. Like, being a ninja is good. Joining early is good. Kaze has a lot of stuff going for him. I don't think it's actually medium investment. I think it's low investment. I just think that it like, you need to make a plan for it to happen. It's that low investment, but that investment absolutely needs to happen. Like, you need to be there, and you need to be doing that investment. Because if you fuck up, or like you neglect it for a while, he's not gonna be doing his job. And also, Kaze is one of the other units that you can Kaze's unit that he can do what he does in Conquest, which is give Conquest units access to Ninja, which even though Rev has cross route supports, they're still somewhat limited. So Kaze can still do that, which is something that other units can't do. Like Silas, I think he can marry Kagero for Ninja, for example. But other than that, he can still get with Silas for Ninja. Silas can give pretty much all the Conquest women access to Ninja. Like I don't think Elise, for example, has Ninja access. I don't know why the fuck he would do that. Basically, he still has a lot going for him. He's not the GOAT that he is in Conquest, but he gets the job done.
Yeah, and notably, I want to mention, back on the steal things, is that steals give a speed penalty for doubling. Kaze doesn't care about speed benchmarks. He will always hit them, pretty much, and that's really good for Kaze in particular, because he really likes the might of steal weapons, because his biggest problem is his strength. Because, you know, like, he is able to double enemies really easily, and he's able to... he has pretty decently high avoid, so like, you know, dodge taking is not a reliable thing in Fates, but if you want a unit to do it, then Kaze is not your worst option to do that with.
Also, is your earliest like lock touch unit, I think. I don't think you get another lock touch unit until fucking. When do you get your next lock touch unit?
Saizo.
It's not Shura. No. It might actually be Shura. No. It's Saizo. It's Saizo.
Yeah.
In Conquest, for example, Kaze has a couple of things that he doesn't have going for him in this game, like the level advantage, which allows him to hit benchmarks that normally you wouldn't expect a ninja to hit. For example, like he can pretty comfortably, if you get him like a couple of levels, a decent amount of levels in Chapter 5, which, I mean, who the fuck else would you give that EXP to? He can get to, like, one-rounding, like, fighters and, not berserkers, but, like, fighters and outlaws and stuff before the enemies promote on main game and paralogs. So, like, on Chapter 16, he can do that. This game, he wouldn't be able to do that because of the level advantage, but big thing that this game provides for ninjas is the dual shuriken, and the dual shuriken might not seem like a big deal, but when you consider that shurikens are all that Kaze uses, and even in Conquest, like considering that Kaze gets like less availability in Conquest, the fact that Kaze usually hits S-rank shurikens if you're using him, combined with the fact that the dual shuriken, normally when you have weapon triangle disadvantage, your weapon rank bonuses get taken away. So if you're using if you have S-rank swords, normally for your weapon rank bonus, you get 4 attack and 5 hit. However, if you attack a lance enemy, that 4 attack and 5 hit gets taken away in addition to the weapon triangle disadvantage. Kaze in this game does not have to worry about that because he has access to the dual shuriken, which means that his damage output is always going to be at least a little bit better than it would be otherwise. And because his weapon ranks are so high, the weapon triangle damage that he gets is even higher than it would be otherwise. He's not going to be hitting the S rank weapons like immediately, but like he could pretty easily get to B rank weapons like before your units promote, and that's pretty fucking good because what's it? B rank is 110. Yeah, that would give him plus 2 attack, plus 20 hit on weapon triangle advantage. It's the dual shuriken does do a lot of favors for Kaze that other ninja users don't really care too much about because they have the strength to make it work. So the dual shuriken is pretty good for Kaze.
And one last thing I want to mention about Kaze is that he is an early game unit that gets Poison Strike, and in the early game of Revelation, very notably, and as we've mentioned before, is that strength is pretty low across all of your units, and even among Kaze himself, his strength isn't that good. However, Poison Strike does kind of fix that to a degree. Because that is a constant 20% to the enemy's health dealt after Kaze initiates combat with that.
Even if he misses.
Even if he misses, yeah. He doesn't even have to hit. But if he does hit, he also applies the debuffs that the shurikens give. So he's really good for just like doing general chip damage and like actually like feeding your units kills, which a lot of units in the early game of Revelation do care about having access to a lot.
Yeah, and also, like, if your positioning is a little off or you want to deploy units somewhere else, like, for example, on Chapter 10, you want to fight Camilla, you bait her on enemy phase because she has a tome equipped, so you can use, like, Felicia or somebody to soak up the hit, but Felicia's not doing that much damage. Kaze can help deal that damage to her. And I think in this game, still, Kaze is your single best anti-mage option. I'm looking at the cast, yeah, I don't see anybody else better at dealing with mages. The problem here is that mages often come bundled together with other group types. But there's still some pesky enemy types like Dark Knights that Kaze is one of the best at dealing with, because Dark Knights in this game don't fuck around. They have a lot of stats, especially in bulk, but Kaze, for example, the Hunter's Knife can deal with them better than somebody like Saizo or Kagero could. You want to talk about Hana, bro? Dude, she's just like, can we get real here? She's just bad.
Yeah, she's kind of bad. Like the problem with Hana is that she joins and she just can't do damage, and she can't really take damage.
She will literally show you 0 damage against enemies. Like, this is not a joke. With like an iron sword or an iron katana, like it is that bad.
The problem with her is especially so because she actually gets nerfed. I believe she's like one of the only units that has this happen to them. She gets nerfed from her base route of birthright because she loses 2 strength
and 2 skill, but the 2 skill is not that relevant.
Yeah. And that, like, she does have a good strength growth, so if you do manage to train her up to a pretty, like, decent level, then she will start dealing some damage and having some better hit rates against the enemies. But the problem is that her join maps is chapter 9, and she does 0 to literally every enemy on that map.
And that means that, like, yes, you can obviously compensate for that by giving her like a Rinkah pair up or a Gunter pair up or whatever, but that means that if you're trying to kill feed Hana on a Fuga's Mild Ride, you need to get her to the enemies. And normally, the easiest way to do that would be to pair her up with a Sky Knight. And even if she did 1 damage, as long as you were able to get the debuff on the enemy and like poison strike them down to 1, you'd be able to kill. But Hana literally does 0 damage, and Subaki's pair up is not helping with that. So the positioning is even worse than it would be otherwise. You really do have to, like, it's even hard. It's not quite like Sophia tier, but it takes the kind of like effort as it does like training up Wendy when you have all 3 armors deployed. Like, you still have to work on the positioning to get the triangle attack going so she can get the kills. It takes a lot of effort to get her going, and the what you get out of it isn't even good because her reclass sucks. She can only marry like birthright units, and what's her supports? I don't think she supports anybody relevant in Conquest.
She supports Laszlo, I guess. But...
Yes, so she supports nobody relevant, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I think it's like Laszlo, Effie, and someone else I forgot.
Man, Swordmaster Effie, no, that's a strat. No, but the one thing I will say that's nice about Hana is that, actually, before I say that, I did want to say, she gives speed, which normally would be good, but you are strapped for strength pair-ups more than speed pair-ups in the early game of Revelation. Like, if you look at her list, we have Felicia, Jacob, Kaze, Azura that all give speed. Subaki coming up, they give speed. Hayato that gives speed. We don't have that many units that give strength. The only units that give strength are Gunter, Corrin, Rinkah. That's it. And then Takumi. Like the fact that you do have to wait a while for strength. So her pair-up isn't that unique. But the nice thing is that she does join along with Subaki, and she does have a fast support with Subaki. I guess we can talk about them together. I'm thinking Subaki is like either utility or low investment because
I think he's utility.
The thing with Subaki is that, first of all, he can fly you around for Fuga's Mild Ride, which is actually very valuable. Second of all, he can pair up with Hana. He pretty much will double every enemy, and he can get a decently enough strong weapon. And the nice thing with the Subaki is that if you get him like if you get him like an Iron Lance +1 or something, money is pretty tight early on in Revelation. But if you can get him an Iron Lance +1, you will probably be fine because there are other units in the game that will be happy to receive that Iron Lance +1. For example, Silas will like to have that. Reina will like to have that. So like it's not in one of those things where like it's like buying a bronze bow +2 for somebody that you're not even going to use that much. It doesn't matter because that bronze bow +2 will be valuable. In the same way, this lance is going to be valuable. So getting Subaki a good weapon is not that bad. Another nice thing about Subaki is that you never have to worry about his hit rates because if he's taking damage, he's pretty much going to just die. So like he's usually activating Perfectionist. He usually doubles because if you're pairing him up with Hana, she gives him speed and he has Darting Blow. What's his strength like? He's got 8 strength, which is not great, but it's not bad. It really could be worse. And the thing is that because of their fast support, they can get married really quickly. I think it takes like 4 to 5 maps for them to get married. So Chapter 9, Chapter 10, Chapter 11, Chapter 12, Chapter 13, and that's not that bad in terms of deployment. And actually, I forgot, if you do Paralog 1 at some point there, you can use that to give them an extra map too. So you could be Chapter 9, Paralog 1, Chapter 10, 11, 12, and if you're brave enough to put if you're brave enough to add the Kana Paralog in there, that's another chapter knocked off. Basically, you can get them married to get Kildori access very early, and Kildori, unlike her parents, is a pretty good unit. Like, she's very, very strong. And she also comes with the benefit of giving you a free sword catcher, which that's a reoccurring theme in combat in Revelation, which is that enemies are very, very strong. Dealing with them is hard, so effective damage is one of your best tools at dealing with them, because effective weapons in this game have very pushed stats. For example, like the hammer has like 12, 14 might, some shit like that. It does a lot of damage. Similarly, the sword catcher can allow you to deal with dangerous sword enemies earlier on in the game.
Yeah, and Revelation really likes heroes. It uses an unreal amount of hero enemy units, so that sword catcher will actually get quite a bit of use. And another nice thing about Subaki here is that he promotes into Falcon Knight. So what you can do if you want to continue using him, he can promote into Falcon Knight at level 10 and then immediately get, or very, very quickly get rally speed, and then become a nice like flyer bot that can use like rally speed on some units that can make it easier to reach some benchmarks.
I'd probably rather be spending your time doing that with Sakura, but I mean, it is something you can do with Subaki. He's not wortherless like you would imagine. He's actually probably one of the more valuable units you get earlier on in Revelation, which says a lot, unfortunately. Other than that, I guess I was talking about Kilder. We can talk about it later. I guess we're moving on to Rinkah. Rinkah is the epitome of pair up. The nice thing about Rinkah is that she joins. Dude, she is not good. Have you seen her strength stat?
Her strength stat is kind of abysmal. The best thing, if you want to use Rinkah as like an actual like combat unit, what you do is you put her in Oni Chieftain and just like tank with her high defense. That's less viable in Revelation than it is in Birthright. Like, a lot of Birthright players will tell you that Rinkah's amazing at like tanking enemies because, you know, she can use Bolt Axe and like she'll do low damage, but she will tank all the enemies because,
and she has Seal Rest, so like she'll eventually kill the enemies. She will come out on top. You can put her in Birthright. You can put her amongst a group of like 70 enemies. She'll come out on top eventually. You might take like 5 turns though. In this game, it's a lot harder because, first of all, her hit rates are going to be really tough to manage. Second of all, she's not always going to be able to take no damage. Third of all, sometimes, like I think later on, some generals start carrying Wary Fighter, like they roll Wary Fighter, because this game only gives enemies class skills. So like you'll see like defense +2 on enemy armors and strength +2 on enemy weapons, but you won't see like counter magic and blow skills on enemies that don't normally have that. It's like Awakening, except it's not like random skills. It's all like predetermined stuff. It's just tough because early on, like Rinkah's big problem is that she has her Branch of Fate stats, and Kaze is just so much better in every map that Rinkah and Kaze are in. In every map that Rinkah is in, Kaze is also in, and he's just much better. And Rinkah, as a result, just ends up getting underleveled, and she ends up with this like really lackluster set of stats. She'll probably have E rank axes, which is really bad, especially considering that she has no strength.
All right, so yeah, like Rinkah has kind of like a similar problem as Hana too, in her joining chapters, that she just doesn't have the damage output to actually like deal with the enemies. Let me look at her. Let's see, if you level up Rinkah once, she'll on average have 8 strength, which is admittedly better than Hana, but she still won't have like she won't really have the weapon ranks to do too much damage, and like she'll have her personal skill, so she'll be like a little bit easier to train. But you know, again, she's just like, she doesn't have the flyer access like Subaki does. She doesn't even have the hit rates like he does, and it's just like she's stuck using a brass club.
And she doesn't always double like he does. But the problem is that she just doesn't do damage, and she doesn't double. Her biggest benefit is that she does give a great backpack to pretty much any Birthright unit. And the early cast of Revelation is pretty much all Birthright units except for the Camilla squad.
Yeah, and another nice thing that like she does have this going for her, is that, you know, after chapter 9, she does get chapter 10, which is just a grinding map, and then she gets chapter 11, where if you were training up your units, if you were training up Rinkah sufficiently, then she will have weapon triangle advantage against most of the ninjas there. However, she will still kind of struggle with like she'll probably get doubled still, and she'll definitely struggle against like the promoted master ninjas.
she might. The problem is that she like and damage output again is the big thing. Like she's definitely not going to 2-hit KO without Fiery Blood, and even with Fiery Blood, depending on the situation, it might be tough for her to 2-hit KO. The good thing about Rinkah, again, and honestly, it's not even good. It's a great thing is that her pair-up utility, like, quite literally cannot fall off. You can unbench her. I mean, you can bench her for the entire game, unbench her when Ryoma joins, and she's still probably the best Ryoma backpack that the game has, that the game can provide for you. Like, I would honestly put her above Gunter in the utility tier.
I would argue that she's maybe the best pair-up bot in the game, like, dedicated pair-up bot in the game.
I don't think so, because I think that there's other pair-up bots that we'll get to later that are a bit more applicable. Because Rinkah, because the thing is Rinkah's a great pair-up bot for birthright units, and there's a lot there's definitely some good birthright units. Like Saizo's pretty good. Like for in terms of who she can marry, Saizo's pretty good. Who else? Ryoma obviously is pretty good. Like Azama, if you really work on him, can be pretty good. But like other than that, like there's not that many great like birthright units that are like, oh, this is gonna be and Kaze obviously, but this is gonna be my guy. So like I just think that it's not that great. But I mean, again, Rinkah pair up on Kaze early on is very, very good. You might not be able to promote her though for the extra, what is it, +1 strength and defense pair up, which is unfortunate. Oh, you want to talk about a glow up? What a fucking goat right here. Top of low investment, buddy. This guy might even be fucking meta defining because he's like the only good mage you have until Leo joins. Like, yeah. Real talk. So I would put him above Kaze. Give the man the respect he deserves.
Yeah, so not Kaze. Hayato gets an insane glow up from his horrible start in Birthright. Let me actually just compare the two really quickly.
Hayato gets 9 level ups going from Birthright to Revelation, and those 9 level ups, like if you might forget, but like let's see, Hoshtens. You go here, you get where is he? Hayato. You get Hayato in chapter 8 in Birthright at level 1, and you get Hayato at chapter 9 in Revelation at level 9. So he gets 8 levels in the course of one chapter.
Yeah, and you know, like his growths are actually like pretty good. And he starts with like decent enough weapon rank, and obviously he's a magic unit. So like he's a very, very solid option for you. In fact, like you said, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's your next closest tome unit is Orochi, who just kind of folds in one hit to everything. Hayato actually has pretty good defense, even in Omioji. So it's like Hayato is like by far kind of just like your best option for just like a decent combat mage that you just want to use for like taking care of like the fighters and Onis that you're fighting, which there are a lot of.
Yeah, like Birthright Hayato struggles so much because he does have magic +2, but even then he has 6 magic, which is fucking horrible. That's like what your Corrin is gonna have. But like Rev Hayato, I mean, he pulls up with like real bases. 9 magic, 13 speed is fucking absurd, and he does the unfortunate thing is that his personal is not going to be active in this game, unlike in Birthright, so he's not going to be doing that extra 4 points of damage. But the good thing is that tomes are very good in Revelation, even better than in Conquest, because in this game their enemy stats are very high, as we've said constantly, and magical damage is one of the ways that you can really get through enemies. Like for example, you'll have a lot of trouble dealing with like late game Dark Knights, for example, are really, really tough to get through, but you can slice through them if you have a good enough tome. Similarly with like generals, they're fucking really hard to deal with, except for you have tomes. Another thing about this game is that you can get the Horse Spirit reliably, Horse Spirit and the Calamity Gate, and all the tomes that you would want reliably at chapter 14. The tier 3 tome shop does not do anything for either side, because the only thing that it gives, like normally, like you would get a Snake Spirit, but you would much rather just use the Lightning Tome. Hayato also has a good reclass option, which I don't know if you mentioned, which is Oni Savage. Oni Chieftain Hayato, he's pretty bulky, gets his job done. Hayato's just good, man. Another thing is that you get access to tomes instead of like spirits for getting the fire. So using a rat spirit is much worse than just using a fire tome, and Hayato doesn't have to worry about that nonsense in this game.
Yeah, and one thing is Hayato really, really like wants tomes if he's using his magic stat, because tomes have higher hit than Scrolls do, and Hayato's skill is like probably his worst stat. It's pretty bad, but you know, like Tome, like even then, he's a decent tank, especially if he goes into Oni Chieftain, and he has like okay-ish hit rates with tomes instead of scrolls, which is very nice.
Something that's a little interesting about mages is that you like conquest mage classes and birthright mage classes, they mesh well together because they both want magic, but the birthright mage classes want bulk and the conquest mage classes want speed, and they provide that for each other. Like obviously sorcerer doesn't provide bulk, but like dark knight and malignite and both provide bulk. Hayato's support list is also pretty fucking good. He can get hitched with the Orochi, or if you don't want to spend the time, like bother like using your actions to rescue her, because she does. So Orochi, she joins on the Ninja Cave and she does get one-rounded on it and turn one enemy phase. And if you don't want to bother saving her, you can get Hayato married to, like, he can marry Felicia, he can get with Sakura, he can get with Nyx, and all three of those are pretty good for him. It's just good. I would say that I usually do either Sakura or Orochi, usually Sakura.
I like Nyx for Hayato, personally, but yeah, like any option is just like really insane for him. He has it really well off in Rev.
Mm-hmm. He also has he's also the only other guy that can support Fuga, so I don't know. Use that for whatever you want.
Vantage Hayato strats, I guess.
Wait, but isn't Fuga? Oh no, Fuga is Master of Arms. For some reason, I keep thinking he's Blacksmith. He's Master of Arms. Yeah, no. Okay, we have Takumi here, and this guy does actually like, I would say he's either low or medium investment. I mean, he's got what you want.
He's low investment, definitely. Like, he's a fine, like, what his best thing that you can do with Takumi is just, like, you keep him in his base class, you promote him into Sniper or Kenshi. I think Kenshi's better in Rev because of the Vala maps having a bunch of flyer-only tiles, but, like, he...
Mm-hmm. And normally, like, getting certain blow from Sniper is nice, but Takumi has an absurd skill stat. He really doesn't care about hit rates. He can get good hit rates with Yumi, so, like, that should tell you a lot. And speeds, he does need that speed support, and he does need it in this game a lot more than he does in Birthright. So you got to get that shit rolling ASAP. Unlike in Birthright, Takumi does not suffer from having a lack of 1-2 range in this game. 1-2 range is still great in Revelation, but it's really not as important as just raw damage output. And Sniper is one of those Sniper is one of the classes that excels the most at just raw damage output, and Takumi, I'm pretty sure, joins with quick draw, so he can really put the hurt on a lot of enemies.
Yeah, and his join map is actually extremely nice to him too, because his first deployable map is in chapter 11, which is Ninja Hell, and he just like he can like kill really easily the promoted master ninjas there, which a lot of units may end up struggling with. He's just like a nice solid option that the game gives to you.
I don't know about the master ninjas. You definitely have to give him a lot of speed support for him to be doing that. Well, I mean, like, getting the kill on them, yes, but I guess you don't mean one rounding. You just mean, like, getting the kill on them.
No, yeah, just getting the kill on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you also get them with you get them at the end of the end of chapter 10. So, chapter 10 is you get them after the snow shoveling map, along with Oboro and Hinata. How do you feel about these guys? I feel kind of mixed about them.
I think Oboro is really good, not for the same reasons why she's good in Birthright. So I think she is pretty high investment if you want to make her like super good, because in my opinion, I think her best route in Revelation is to pursue her Beruka friendship and get into Wyvern Lord.
She's a Beruka friendship? What the fuck could they possibly have to talk about?
Beruka knows the person that killed Oboro's parents.
Oh. So
yeah, like her friendship with Beruka is really good. Because it gives Oboro the like high strength that Wyvern Lord gives. It gets her out of shit ass spear fighter.
Hey, spear fighter is not bad in this game. You're thinking of Birthright. Spear fighter says lance axe is pretty good, and but the nice thing that Wyvern Lord means that lances are good, but Wyvern Lord also has lances, and she can maintain her lance.
Yeah, and she gets axes too, which is like really
her bulk is popping. What the fuck is this? 25 defense, 25 HP, 15 defense.
She has like a really good stat line.
She might need a little bit of speed support though.
If you want to be crazy, also she can Like, she can be, like, a flying javelin user, or you can, like, even put her into Malignite to, like, do, like, seal defense and then savage blow strats with, like, a really weak tome or something.
At that point, why wouldn't you I feel like you would just go Mechanist. Like, if you really want the 1-2 range, you just go Mechanist. Now this looks pretty cracked. Wait, no, hold up. She actually does have a magic stat. You are not lying.
Oh yeah, she's really solid, and like her base class access, like she can get if you want to like later down the line go back into Spearmaster and then grab Lance Fair, she'll have like constant +5 damage with lances there. She's a really good dual Naginata user. She can use the guard Naginata crazily, and you know,
Beast Killer is good. You know. Sword Catcher, fucking really whatever.
Like the payoff for like building up Beruka support with Oboro, or rather Oboro support with Beruka, and then like giving her that friendship seal is, in my opinion, one of the better like Gen 1 like non-royals in the game in terms of payoff.
Yeah, I prefer doing the Charlotte friendship with Beruka because you can do funny, great club stuff. But if you want to talk about an actually good build, this is probably it.
Hinata is, I don't love him.
Okay, can I be honest here? I honestly don't mind Hinata at all. I feel like he's like, you know how in Conquest you can do the whole like promote and then dump Laszlo thing? I feel like Hinata he joins with base stats, and that's more than you can say for like 75% of the units at this point in the game. He does his thing. He has a speed backpack, which is nice, and then you can just bench him. Or you can go into Oni Chieftain if you really want, and you can just turn him into Benny 2.0. I feel like he's low investment, if anything, because like what investment does he need? You just get him a sword.
Yeah, that's true. He joins with actually one actually good thing about Hinata is that he joins with Sea and Swords, and you know, much like Takumi, he joins in Ninja Hell, and in Chapter 9 you get a free dual katana, so he can instantly use that right off the bat, and he actually does do pretty well against them. And
wait, you get a dual katana that early? When the fuck
you get it in the Fuga's Wild Ride, where it's normally the rescue rod in Conquest.
Oh right, you do. Oh, also, like real talk, I feel like Beruka. Are you sure it's high investment? Because like friendship seals are not something.
I was thinking about putting her in medium.
She's better than Mozu for sure, bro. Get her up, get her above Mozu. I need to try this one next round. For sure. Hinata, I feel like you definitely are going to bench him eventually. He's not really support. He does his best at combat early on. Nice thing about this game is that it gives him access to the practice katana, which can help out his speed for a lot longer than you would expect. You can get him married and then replace him with Asame if you really want. And he does have a fast support with the Oboro if you want that. I mean, shit, you might be able to... Wait, hold up. No, because Camilla and Beruka, they join after chapter... Yeah, they join after chapter 12. So you would have like 2 chapters plus like paralogs to get them married if you don't want to intrude on the Beruka, whatever you want Beruka to be doing. With Oboro, but I mean, you could still get him married, get Hisame if you want. It's not going to be that bad. Hinata, he's a decent guy. If you want to use him long term, Practice Katana Swordmaster is probably going to be your best bet. The other way to do it is going to be going into Oni Chieftain or Blacksmith and just seeing how bulky you can get this dude.
Yeah, his bulk is really nice, and one thing that is pretty like decently different from his like utility and or usability in Birthright is that triple threat is actually pretty prominent in Revelation if you're actually going to use him as a combat unit, because there's a lot more like lance locked and like sword locked units that you'll be facing in Revelation rather than Birthright. So Saizo is like better Kaze.
I feel like honestly the Saizo is better the more you put into him. Like he just has more return. He just keeps returning on every point of investment. I think I think that he's better if you just put him into a Master Ninja. That's kind of a waste of his talents because he can do so much more than just Master Ninja. He has access to, I'm pretty sure, Laszlo Friendship, but also Charlotte Marriage, and he's one of the units that joins early. Like you don't get, again, as I said, you don't get a lot of Conquest units, and a lot of those not many. And on top of that, not many of those Conquest units are able to benefit from Charlotte. I think Saizo is one of the first units that you get that's able to benefit from getting with Charlotte, and and yes, Charlotte does join significantly later, but like it's not like Saizo's a slouch. I feel like the more you put into Saizo, the better he gets, and also you get Asugi, who's like a copy of Saizo but with slightly different stat line. I would honestly put him into high investment above Sakura because I feel like he's best he's best as a high investment unit.
I would say more medium investment, because if we're just doing you can make him a really easy like Soul Ninja with like fucking what's her face Charlotte backpack, which is just kind of like, you know, insane. I would say better than Mozu, and like eventually later down the line, like I would say like his payoff is a lot better than like what Kaze's is, especially if you like keep him just in Master Ninja, even because he has better bulk, better strength generally, but he can do a lot more to make that lead even further, which is kind of his big difference between the two.
I think Kaze unironically might have hold up Veil. What is it? Rev Kaze 10, Saizo 10. Because I think that Kaze unironically has more HP than Saizo. No, they're around the same HP. Saizo has like 0.25 more. But I mean, Kaze is not really. He's not a slouch. Like for example, at level 10, Saizo has 2 more strength. In exchange for Kaze having 5 more speed and 6 more res, which is, I mean, it's really not a bad trade. Like Kaze will be able to hit those. The thing that Kaze always does is hit the doubling thresholds that nobody else has a chance in hell at hitting. Like he's going to be doubling Swordmasters without support, and nobody else in this army can even dream of doing something like that. But the Saizo is just more generally applicable, which makes him better. And again, the thing with Saizo is that like if he doesn't double the Swordmaster, so what? The Swordmaster's probably not doing that much damage to him. And also Saizo has a decent magic stat, so he can use the Flame Shuriken pretty well. Saizo also joins with a decent Shuriken rank. He just has a lot going for him. He's a good unit. This is when the game starts giving you good units. Except for Orochi. Do you want to go for this?
So Orochi's just kind of bad.
I don't know. Like Onmyoji pair up is pretty good, but like
I can put her in utility. I can.
Onmyoji pair up is pretty fucking good.
Yeah. So the thing about Orochi is like you mentioned earlier, there is a Master Ninja, or actually I think it's just a normal ninja, in turn 1 of chapter 11 that will go for Orochi if you don't deal with that ninja, and she will die. She is like pretty much a guaranteed chance of dying if that ninja is not dealt with on turn 1. And that just like kind of goes to show her weaknesses as a unit. Like she is very frail, very, very slow. And like she can be built up pretty well. I know Septi has a video of Orochi like just one-rounding every single enemy in dual vantage attacks.
Yeah, that's Orochi gets more options in this game, which is good for her. And her magic, like in Birthright, her having like 27,000 magic is really not that big of a deal because like you get the same output with somebody like Reina or even Hayato after like leveling him up. But in this game, her magic can actually help her like hit thresholds that you would not be able to hit otherwise. But there's just too much missing here. Like no speed and no defenses and no HP is like that's too much. You can't she has a skill stat which is more than a lot of mages in this game can say, but like it's just not enough.
Yeah, like her ceiling as a unit is very, very high, but like the big problem is actually getting her to that ceiling is not easy. Yeah,
and a lot of the tools that she needs to get to that ceiling, you get a significant amount later. Like the tools that best help her achieve those goals. Like obviously Onmyoji, like Tome Fair, the Tome Fair, like Vantage, Life and Death, all that shit. That you get that later. So you have to deal with her being in the now before you can get that later. Like it's not even like a gradual build up. Like something like even like Super Ophelia, like. Even without Life and Death, she can just be like a decent like unit. She's still gonna die to everything. She's still gonna just get shit on by Leo, for example. But it's not like she's a completely worthless deploy. But here, Nick's you're basically holding on to like dead baggage until she can get all the stuff, like get all the Infinity Stones assembled.
An easier way to use her though is as a parrot bot and a rally bot. She does what's her reclass? Is Apothecary, right?
I think it's like Apothecary or some shit.
Yeah, like she has 2 classes that are like very, very good in pair up, which being Merchant and Onmyoji. And on top of that, she also gets Rally Magic, and you know, Rally Magic is useful. I don't think it's as useful as like Rally Strength is in this game because magic benchmarks, they're just easier to hit, but it is still very nice to actually have that option.
Another nice thing is that she does join at level 7, so unlike Rinkah, she's actually, like, getting her to promotion, like, it's still a pain, but it's really not as much of a pain, as long, like, you can really get her, like, 10 kills on some pretty slow-paced maps, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just get her, just get her, just get her, like, a dual strike with somebody, like, have her, or have Azura sing for her, have her hit a fighter 2 times with an Ox Spirit, and that guy will just bowl over dead, and she'll get the levels that she needs. Her pair up is, she gives, damn, what the fuck is, hold up, what the fuck is this? She gives skill and res. She only gives a point of magic at S support. You're telling me this woman has the highest magic in the game, and she gives 1 point of magic in her personal support. She gives 2 res, 1 skill, and 1 magic. What the, oh, no, she gives, she gives 2 points of magic. So she gives 1 extra magic at C support, and then 1 extra magic at S support, so... it's not nothing, especially in Onmyoji. Like that's pretty fucking big numbers for somebody like Hayato, or even like Saizo if you want to do some goofy shit.
Yeah, like she kind of just exists. Like her, I feel like the best way to use her is as a Hayato backpack to make Hayato better.
She's pretty much just like Nyx, she's
version of
a
Nyx,
little kind of interchangeable with Nyx. But the difference being that she joins earlier and Nyx joins at level 10, so you don't have to use her in combat to promote her.
So Reina is, I think, a top 5 unit in this entire game.
I think she's the best combat unit other than Corrin, like straight up, like no questions asked. Like Reina is so fucking broken in this game. It's actually unreal how broken Reina is. She joins you super early. She joins you, so Reina joins you on chapter 11, in the middle of chapter 11, so like turn 2. Usually how it works is that if you leave the squad alone, Orochi dies turn 1, Saizo dies turn 2, Reina dies turn 3. So you have 3 turns to get Reina. You really don't have any excuse not to get her. And she doesn't die because the enemies are too strong for her. She dies because she's so strong that she suffers from success usually. Reina has quite literally everything possible going for her. Let's take a look here. Reina. First of all, she's a Corrin sexual, which is usually a bad thing, but for her, it's a good thing because she has access to 3 classes. So she has Sky Knight, which she's in Kinshi Knight, which is a pretty good class in and of itself. Her middle rate class is Diviner, which is really weird, but Ren Heaven and Quixotic are nice to get if you can manage to get your hands on them. But the real tech here is that she gets access to Ninja reclass, which is kind of cool. You can honestly just do whatever the fuck you want with her with a ninja. Reina's big thing is that, first of all, she has 50% strength, 60% speed, which I think that's like around what Camilla hits. Her bulk is completely ass. Her base bulk is pretty good compared to the rest of your party, but she's not going to grow on her bulk very well. She's, in the truest sense of the word, she's a glass cannon. Reina gets... Another benefit that she gets from being in Rev is that you don't have to deal with Yumis being completely worthless and making you want to die in the way they do in Birthright. This game lets you buy bows, so you can get Reina a bronze bow +2, and she's probably set until end game. You can get she can just do whatever. She has 8 movement, 10 range effectively with her bows. She has Morbid Celebration, which is a pretty decent personal for sustain. Her skill is a little low, but bows are obviously extremely accurate. So unlike, I say her skill is low, but she has 16 skill. I think she has more skill than every other unit that's joined up until this point. Really, again, it's just a thing where her bases are just so fucking absurd. You get and thing that I didn't mention until now is C rank lances is a pretty big deal because C rank is when you unlock all the really good lances. You get access to the dual Naginata. You get access to the Bolt Naginata, which she doesn't really like using because she doesn't have a great magic stat, but you do get access to it if you care that much. You get access to the Guard Naginata, get the Sword Catcher. You get Beast Killer, you get a D rank, but you still have access to Beast Killer. If it was C rank bows, D rank lances, it would be a lot worse for her, but she does have C rank lances, even though she's almost always using bows. Thank God, and thank you developers for doing this for me. She's just absurdly strong. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, the damage output she deals is going to take you forever. And also, she's a flyer, and there's so much flyer terrain in Revelation that even if her bulk isn't keeping her alive, she's going to be fearing... she's going to be ferrying you around. And even somebody like Camilla sometimes has to be relegated to ferry duty because that's just the most important thing that they can do at this turn. So, like, Reina being able to do it for you is also fucking awesome.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Reina is that, you know, with all the flying terrain and the fact that she's like a really, really strong Kenshi Knight, especially with super high speed and strength, is that, you know, like she can do like ferrying duty and stuff and like go on all these flyer only tiles, and she will live. She will actually be able to fight the enemies that are on the you know, the other terrains, like the actual land part of the map, and she will oftentimes be able to one round the enemies, especially because she has darting blow. Like speed benchmarks are just not an issue. And you know, with like, even without like any support points, there's so many like strength backpacks in this game that like there will never really be much of a problem of her like actually like hitting damage benchmarks, especially with all the amazing weapons.
I legit recommend Corrin Reina marriage, like straight up. Like I just don't think there's any better marriage for Corrin and Reina, because Corrin gets access to at her worst, she gives Corrin access to a flying class. And also, like, if you really want that extra little bit of oomph, you can reclass her back into Falcon Knight. She still keeps her C rank lances, and she gets just better stats everywhere except for skill. For example, she gets 1 extra strength, 2 extra speed, 1 extra defense, 2 more res, 1 more HP, and she gets like 5% more strength growth. It's not really worth it, but if you do need if you need an emergency rescue staff user that can fly, she can get the job done. I think Reina is just she's ever present. She is your best combat unit, like pretty much for the whole game, because she just has, and also, I mean, obviously she also has this thing where her internal level is low, so she's going to get her level ups quickly. So she's going to be able to eventually get access to the promoted level 15 skills, of which there are some that are pretty fucking valuable for her. Like Quixotic is pretty good for her because it just fixes up her hit rates, and she has access to that in her base class, and she maintains her lance rank in that class. She can go into Master Ninja, get Shuriken Fair earlier. She can go into whatever class your Corrin has if you marry her. Reina is the proto murder wife in this game.
Yeah, she's like the best way to kind of describe her is that like she's Rev's version of Camilla in Conquest.
Yeah. And then they also give you Camilla 5 minutes after that.
Camilla's also really good.
No, Camilla's really good. The thing that she has is that Camilla scales, her bulk scales pretty well into the late game. But the thing is that like her weapon access is just not like as great. Like, because axes are pretty good. Her tome map combat is fucking worthless in this game. She does not have the stats to make that shit work. Even in Conquest, she's struggling to get hit rates with bolt axe. In this game, she's not. We ain't making it like that. Camilla. You get Keaton pretty soon, so you can do the Camilla Keaton thing. You also get Arthur pretty soon, so you can do Camilla Arthur. She can marry like Takumi or whatever if you really want to. Like, she has a lot of marriage options, which is nice. She still just has her really good combat stats: 19 strength, 19 speed. What is like 15 defense? Oh no, it's 19 defense and like 11 res. The thing is that in this game, her being in Malignite is kind of more of a curse than a blessing at times. You really would prefer to have her in Wyvern Lord for the extra hit rates and the extra bulk and the extra everything. Trample is always nice, but like really, like you want that extra damage output. Camilla's and because of the existence of Reina, Camilla is just not as unique as she would be otherwise. Like, and Reina can hit doubling thresholds that Camilla can't hope to reach, because Reina, I'm pretty sure, has... Hold on, let's see. Rev, Camilla. I think Camilla has a little bit more speed. No, Reina and Camilla have the same speed growth. Reina has more base speed and darting blow access. So Reina will always be faster than Camilla. The speed tiers in this game go Kaze, Reina, Camilla. That's the top 3 speed tiers in this game that you can hit. It's just... there's just... Sorry, no, it's not Kaze, Reina, Camilla. It's like Kaze, Reina, and then like Ryoma or Shura, and then Camilla. Camilla is still obviously great. You can't go wrong with a fucking Wyvern Lord that joins early and has these stats. You really just can't. But Camilla is not as defining as she is in Conquest. She's just very, very good instead of being insanely good. Like the second best unit in the game, good in Conquest.
Yeah, she still has her thing. She can still do like the Camilla thing, but you know, the Camilla thing just isn't as important. She's nice in the sense that, you know, like you get a strong promoted unit in a promoted class, And like even for like maybe 1 or 2 chapters, her tome access is okay. But yeah, I do agree with the fact that she definitely would rather be in Wyvern Lord, especially because she would much rather have Lance access over tome access. Because lances are just kind of like, you know, better for physical units. But yeah, like she's still a solid option. She does have a lot more points in the game where she will just be spent doing like fairy duty, like you said when we were talking about Reina. But like when you need her as a combat unit, when you just need someone to like go in, double an enemy and kill them, Camilla is almost always going to be able to do that. Which is never going to be invaluable.
The one thing that's actually really helpful for her is that, like, in this game, Warrior Fighter is not as big as it is in Conquest. So her being able to use a hammer means that she'll actually be able to one-round generals, which is something that I think very few other units can attest to. And I'm pretty sure all the other units that can attest to it are all magical units. Camilla can put the hurt on armors like pretty much nobody else. But again, against promoted enemies, her bulk is great, but you'd be surprised how often her bulk can end up betraying her at times. I mean, still, she's great. Like, you can't.
It's impossible to make Camilla like outright bad. Well, it's possible, but you'd have to try.
I feel like Beruka is like the biggest glow down in this game.
Yeah, she's like, okay, for what she needs to do, it's pretty medium investment.
I feel like I don't think so. I think she's utility. I think she's there to ferry people around, give them access to Wyvern. And that's good fucking utility. Like, let's be real here. Yeah, her giving access to 2 units access to Wyvern Rider, and being a flyer that can ferry units around, and she joins at level 10 so you can instantly promote her. That's good stuff right there. But like, I would put her like above Gunter, I would say.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, she's a good strength backpack. You know, like, she has rally defense, and then, you know, she does have access to Berserker, so she can do Berserker pair-up stuff, which is pretty valuable for some units, especially depending on who she wants to marry. And, you know, she can also do rally defense, rally strength. She can still be a Wyvern. Wyverns are so valuable in Rev. Just flyers in general are just extremely important to just have deployed. Like she's a solid filler combat unit. Her strength isn't that great.
It's not even that great in Conquest, and in Revelation it's even worse.
Yeah, like the best way to use her as a combat unit is like she does need to do like a bit of reclassing. She really wants to get Axe Fair, and she probably wants like even like a Parapot, but like it is much easier to just use her as like a utility support.
Yeah, if I'm using her for combat, I'm putting her into Berserker and I'm doing Killer Axe bullshit, because like why wouldn't I at that point? Now Selena, she got a lot of competition in this game because we're no longer in the era of Selena being the only one that cares about friendshipping Beruka. Now she can still do it, and she's still the fastest one to do it, and she's also still pretty fucking bulky. Yeah, Selena has significantly more bulk and a little bit more speed. Oboro just has more damage output. She has the option to go into be a magical Wyvern, and I think her skills are better. So because she has stronger posts. So I feel like supporting Selena's strength is not that tough in this game. Like, it's really not. You could really just do Bow Knight Selena and really just get away with it pretty much scot-free. You could also do the whole Falcon Knight Rally Infinity Stone thing. I don't really like doing that because I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Whenever I do that, it just makes me feel depressed when I'm doing Rally Bot assembling, but she's fine. I would honestly put her worse than Mozu, straight up. I put her in worse than Mozu or utility.
Yeah, that like she's kind of in a similar boat as like Camilla in a way, where it's like she can still do the things that she does in Conquest, but they're just like there are options that are now either better or that contend on like what she was originally like her main route. So like she can do fine.
It's like if you turn Selena into a flyer, she's gonna be like flyer number 4 on your team, and at that point, like if she's the 4th string flyer in your party, then her value is just dropped so much. Are there any stat differences between Kagero and Birthright and Revelation?
I don't think so.
Birthright, Kagero. Doesn't look like it. No, there's no strength differences. She joins a level 10. What chapter does she like? Is it? I think
After chapter 11.
Damn, she's fucking cooking. What the hell? What all? I'd be using Kagero in Revelation a lot. She has a lot of benchmarks surprisingly easily. Like you put her in the like her speed stat is kind of ass. Real talk. Like her base speed is kind of ass. She has 12 base speed, which is like I think it's like less than Keaton. So like, or I think it's like a little bit more than what Beruka has. Beruka. Yeah, she has 3 more speed than Beruka, which is not a good look for a ninja. And the problem is that because she's a ninja, there's no class that can help her more than the class that she's already in. Her reclass is pretty shit because it's diviner. She's not getting much from that. But I mean, at the end of the day, she has 70% strength, 70% speed, 15 base strength as a ninja. Like you really can't go wrong with this kind of stat line. She uses the Sting Shuriken, she uses the Dual Shuriken, she uses an Iron Shuriken, and she slays. She just murders enemies.
Yeah, the nice thing about Kagero is like she will cap her strength. Like that is guaranteed, effectively. Even if you promote her at level 10, it's actually very, very likely that she'll cap even. And if you want like something to do with like a high investment or like a medium investment Kagero, then you can marry Arthur and then she'll have a 90% strength growth in Berserker, so you can just have a stupid Berserker. But yeah, that's not her best thing to do. She hits a lot of like strength benchmarks that other units just won't be able to, which can be very, very valuable for you know, like a lot of the bulkier rev enemies, especially when you get into Vala and have like these generals and stuff that like even with the Sting Shuriken or Hammer, some enemy or some units might struggle to kill like the generals and Great Knights, but Kagero just will always be able to kill those.
And also like you get access to like you get both sides of the spectrum on Shuriken effective weapon. You get the Beast Killer and you get the Sting Shuriken. And for like for snipers and stuff that you normally otherwise wouldn't be able to kill, you get the fucking dual shuriken. So like she's got all ends of the spectrum covered. She's definitely better than Hinata. I would say she's better than Kaze, but not better than Hayato.
Yeah, I can definitely.
I'm still considering putting Hayato in the top, at the bottom of the meta defining tier. That man is the face of magical revelation. Magical revelation is Hayato. Dude, Kaden is so ass. He's just bad. He's actually just bad. I've done Kaden carry because I was like, I wonder if this is good. Spoiler alert, it's not good. It's really just not good. Kaden gives speed and like, I mean, he has the inherent problems that his class has and that he has, and nothing in this game can help that. The fact that he's supposed to be an anti-magic unit, but he can never counterattack mages in his base class. The fact that his promoted version of his base class, unironically, is less hit than Wolfsegner, even though it has more skill because the class bonuses that you get suck. The fact that he doesn't deal any fucking damage. The fact that in this game, your Beast Rune and Beast Stone Plus are very, very, very late. So you do need to keep an eye out for that. Keaton is a lot better than Kaden, but you do need to keep that in mind for when you're using Keaton as well, where you don't get the Beast Rune and Beast Stone Plus until later. But for Kaden, it's even worse because Kaden doesn't have a good strength stat. He's just lacking straight up.
Yeah, like the best thing you want to do with Kaden to like make him like actually a decent combat unit is like probably just put him in Mechanist, but the only way he can get in Mechanist is with Kagero marriage, and Kagero doesn't always want to be marrying Kaden.
Yeah, you would much rather have Kagero marry Silas, for example.
Yeah, so it's just like he's in maybe one of the worst spots of all the units in Fates. Not the worst. There's a unit that has it worse, definitely, but you know, Kaden's not, he doesn't love his position.
Mm-hmm. Now Keaton, on the other hand, he's living large. You'd be surprised at how good Keaton is. Yeah, he's actually like he's cooking. His backpack is still just as good, but unlike in Conquest, where a lot of times you just put him in the backpack and you just send it, like switching around between the two units that between Keaton and whoever he's married to is pretty fucking good in this game. Even with just the Beast Stone, Keaton has he has 14 defense, and we all know just how much defense Keaton has in his growths. He has like an 80% strength, 70% defense, and a shit ton of HP. Keaton's gonna be able to hit bulk thresholds that not many other units can hit, and he can hit speed thresholds while hitting those bulk thresholds.
I'm gonna be honest here. Wolfsegner has always been a fucking broken class. It's just that it's not as relevant as having access to the ranged weaponry in Conquest. In this game, the Wolfsegner's like inherent strengths really shine through, and you realize that this class goes crazy. And also, Keaton comes as a bundle with Valoria, who's just Keaton 2.0, with probably worse backpack stats, and also the less ability to backpack machine of Gen 2 backpack, but you don't get that many Gen 2 units that are great because a lot of the dads join a bit later in this game. But regardless, like Keaton just joins you, level 15, unpromoted, which is actually very competitive base level for the time. He's not perfectly on par with the rest of your army, but he's doing his thing. He has 80% HP, 80% strength, 50% speed, 60% defense. He has Silas' speed tier, which is fucking absurd for a guy that has this many stats. He has 35 strength, 16 defense, 19 strength. 35 HP, 19 strength, 16 defense, before stone bonuses, and before he's even promoted. And after he promotes, the promoted class gives him, his luck is kind of ass, but Wolfsegner gives you a free +10 crit avoid and a free +10 hit. So his really lackluster 25% skill just doesn't matter anymore. And also, he has 10 base skill, which is pretty decent even. So like, he's just got the whole fucking spectrum under lock. He's got this. He got that shit on. Another thing is that he has beast effectiveness, which is really good in Revelation. Great Knights and stuff, he can just chew through them like nobody's business. And Keaton is also helpful for helping other units level up. We're gonna get a couple of shitters from now on, for a couple of female units that kind of suck ass. But the physical ones, especially the ones from Conquest, can really benefit from Keaton's backpack, and he doesn't mind not being used in combat for a little bit to help somebody else catch up, because most of his stats he just has at base. He just joins capable of fighting. Only real problem is that while ranged damage is not as defining as in Conquest, it's still good, and him not having ranged access does suck. And as you said, the Beast Rune is really good. You don't get access to it until much later. Beast Stone Plus is even better. You don't get access to it until the fucking forest map, I think. And so Keaton he's kind of stuck with just one weapon, which he's fine with, but he would definitely be better if he had access to the others. He doesn't have the corollary to the fact that he does have effective damage against Kaze is that he doesn't have the ability to get effective damage against anything else. So even though he has 19 strength and he has 25 attack with a beast stone at base, the way that Camilla or somebody with an armor effective weapon can at least, even if not they don't kill, they can put a bunch of hurt on a general, or somebody that's similarly bulky, like an Oni chieftain with axe breaker. What is it called? The club breaker or whatever?
Axe splitter.
The king just can't do that. He's very one-dimensionally very strong. He's definitely not bad. There's no world in which Keaton in this game is bad, but he's pretty one-dimensional. If you don't have a need for what he does, then you will find yourself not using him. But the good thing is that almost every single run has some kind of need for what Keaton does.
Yeah, and I do want to mention, you mentioned Valoria earlier. Valoria's Paralog, notably, actually does give 1 Beast Rune and 1 Beast Stone Plus. So that is technically, if you want to get Keaton married, that is the earliest way you're going to get those 2 weapons for Keaton. Also, it's super easy to train Keaton. I want to mention, because in chapter 14, even at his base stats, I believe he can 1 round every single one of the cavaliers on that map and paladins.
Chapter 14. Which one is 14?
It's
Port, it's the port map, right? Yeah, but real talk, what training? The man is already trained. He has 19 strength. Yeah, that's true. Camilla's base strength. He is that unpromoted.
Yeah, it's just it's really really easy to keep him with the level curve. I don't think you mentioned it, but his reclass is actually insane too. He gets Berserker. He's still fine in Wolfsegner. He can definitely do hook in there, and he's maybe even a little better in some cases.
I prefer Wolf Segner, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, Fighter is still definitely not a bad option. If you want to just, like, go full in on his strength stat, you can grab him, like, Axe Fair and stuff and, like, just, like, keep him in a crazy, like, combat class. Not to mention...
He can get HP plus 5 as if he needs any more HP. And you could do... I've never tried it, but I wonder how one-range Soul Keaton is. Probably not very good considering the man has no skill, but I would be interested in trying it out.
Yeah, like... and no matter what class he goes in, he will still always be a good, combat or a good para bot too. Like worst case scenario, he is a good para bot.
I'm gonna be honest here. I really want to put Elise in bad. I just don't see. I don't see the vision. Like the best thing Elise has going. The only thing that Elise really has going for her in this game is Lily's poise, and it's not as important as it is because Lily's poise is easier to position and more. Sometimes it's just not possible to position for Lily's poise because enemies have 2 range, and like it's like mixed ranges. So Elise just can't do. She just doesn't have the sauce in this game. She's definitely the best of these bad units so far. She's definitely better than Hana because like a 7 movement staffer is never going to be worthless. It's just that she's very sorely outcompeted. She's outcompeted as a range-based buffer by both Felicia and Sakura. She's outcompeted as a high movement staff bot by Felicia and Sakura. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like it doesn't get good for her. Like she can't really do anything to help her situation out.
Yeah, and I believe she joins like crazy under leveled too, right? Like you have to actually like
she's like level 10. But the most bullshit part is they gave her 2 extra base skill. If you're gonna make her be shitty and low level, at least make it so that I can still get the zero skill Oni chieftain, bro. Like what is this dumb shit?
She joins as a level 7 troubadour in chapter 14. That's a bad look for her. Like you have to get her 3 levels for her to even promote, and even then you have to get her 3 levels in a class that either can't use weapons at all or a class that she can go into Wyvern, she can do Wyvern Elise things, but like it's just not that useful in this
also
game.
Like by now the calves on this map, the calves on chapter 14 are fucking demons. I don't even know if you're going to be able to get Elise dealing damage because she joins on map, so all the stacking and stuff you have to do that on map.
Yeah. Like you can't like give her preparations.
She doesn't get meals and stuff like that, basically. Let's check the chapter 14 of Revelation. 14. Let's just check these calves. Cavaliers on this map have 15 defense and 30 strength. So for 1 round, you would need 30 attack physically. And that's assuming they don't have their swords equipped, which they have equipped a lot of the times. So like it's a struggle. The least bulky enemies are the outlaws, but then she's not going to be able to fucking hit those guys. Are you crazy? She just doesn't have any good matchups that she can use to like get a level advantage. You get a lot of shitters in this game, but unlike some of those shitters, like she doesn't have any advantages that can help her. Usually with a really like a unit that joins in a bad level in Revelation, if they have some sort of like quality that allows them to flip even one matchup that's relevant, they can use that matchup to just snowball quickly to the point where they can gain more matchups that they're good in. And like if you work on it within like 2 chapters, they can get within 2 chapters they can get on par with the rest of your team, or even like 1 chapter if the chapter is correct for the unit. Elise just doesn't have anything like that going for her. She's just a staff bot that you use if every single one of your other staff bots has died. Arthur, this man is a backpack in this game. He is so ass as a combat unit in this game, but I think he does join at level 10, so that's something.
Yeah, he joins. Let me actually just double.
He joins level 9. Never mind. Oh my god, that's tragic. This game fucking hates Arthur because if he gets level 10, he's got to get level 10 with these base stats. He has 9 speed. He has as much speed as Beruka had like 6 chapters ago, so that's good. He has less defense than her. So he's got to manage to get the last level up with those stats, and he only has marginally more strength than Elise does. So like he's up shit's creek right now. Vex would still tell you that he's meta defining, but thankfully we're not on Vex's channel right now. Arthur, I mean, he still does his backpacking things, and unlike well, actually no, the promotion is still nice for Arthur, but
It's not game changing. Like the units that Arthur would support with are fine with having one less point of strength and speed. Like I usually recommend put Arthur on Camilla instead of Keaton, because I think that the defense is a little bit wasted on Camilla, and I think that Keaton, you would rather have Keaton going on his own for now, and Arthur go for Camilla. And also, there's Keaton helps a specific unit that we're going to get to later hit benchmarks that other units just can't. That they can't with Arthur. So like having the Keaton instead of Arthur there is good. I still think he's better than like Orochi in terms of utility, because like 4 strength 2 speed, like 7 strength 3 2 speed or whatever, 6 strength 2 speed because of the unpromoted, 6 strength 3 skill 2 speed or whatever. I mean that's still good support bonus. He can pair up with somebody if you want, and she can get going with that. It's fine. It's just like damn.
Also, I want to mention that he gives you Percy's Paralog, and Percy's Paralog gives you a lot of money, which is actually pretty important in Rev. So, like,
I honestly don't like doing Percy's Paralog for money, because I'm like, I can't be fucked trying to predict the enemy's movements. I'll just get Percy, and I mean Percy's still a good unit in Rev, because he's a Wyvern Lord and a Wyvern Rider, and he has decent stats. His strength is a little shit. Even in Conquest and in Rev, it's not that great, but you can get going, especially considering that you're eventually going to get Valoria anyways. You can just pair the two of them together and get going pretty well.
Yeah. Effie's also in a pretty rough spot, to be honest.
Well, she has one big thing going for her, which is Beast Killer access.
Yeah, she gets Beast Killer access immediately because, like, her Join Maps Chapter 14, you can immediately buy the level 2 shops. And even with Arthur, like, there's generals that he can fight with a hammer if you want him to. Let me just double check. Rev Effie is... she joins at level 8, though. Like, for some reason, Rev is just so, like... mean to Elise's entire group for some reason. Like they join like super underleveled, way below like your main, like combat units that you've already probably been using. But
I feel like Effie's not in that bad of a spot. Real talk.
She's easy to train is the thing.
The big problem with Effie is that like the payoff is there's just no payoff here. The problem is that there's no payoff here. Effie does not have any of the reclass options that she normally has in Conquest that allows her to get out of this rut. Like Mozu is already doing way more important things, and she can't afford spending time with Effie. Like Arthur, like is gonna get her into Berserker, but even then Berserker's not enough to fix Effie. You need a class that will carry her ass for the rest of the game, and that's pretty much just like Sniper. And we don't have access to that for Effie anymore. It's just not something you can afford to give Effie. But yeah, no, the Beast Killer thing, with 1 point of strength support, she can one-hit KO one-hit KO Cavs on her join map with Beast Killer, which is pretty good. I mean, like, hey, don't shoot the don't look a gift horse in the mouth. There's a lot of Cavs there. There's some Paladins too, and there's some plenty of reinforcement Paladins and Cavaliers too. So like she can do that. The problem is that a lot of the other the enemies are. Even in Conquest, Effie will sometimes run into bulk problems, and now when she's sorely underleveled, her being in a knight is she feels like a GB8 knight in terms of like how her defense isn't actually something that's going to help her out. She takes a lot of damage and she often gets doubled. So unless you're hitting those Oko thresholds, you got to be very, very careful with her.
Yeah, I think one of the easiest way to like fix up Effie is like a super high investment thing where you give her like first of all, you give her like Mozu Friendship, which is already pretty hard in Rev to begin with, and then you give her like Berserker access or something, or you can just
let me cook here. Let me cook here. Right. Azama marriage, Priestess Effie. Hold up, is there something here I need to see? Rev Effie, Priestess. We've heard of Maid Effie and Sniper Effie. Why not combine the two? And just get rid of the good things about. I mean. It really could be worse. Her skill is pretty good in this class. Priestess is just a strong class for her. Let's see. Hold on. Veil, Rev, Effie. Like she would be like level 17. The problem is that she would have to be a knight for a while. Level 17, 5, 15. What is it? Great Knight, Priestess. Yeah, she would have like 30 strength, 20 defense. I mean, the defense is pretty fucking good. She's actually got some crazy mixed bulk here. 35 HP, 20 in both defenses. Like you can make it work, honestly. That's pretty high investment because you got to commit to deploying Azama, who unfortunately in this game is not the GOAT. and they don't have a fast support, and it's an S support, not an A plus support like with Mozu. So it's going to be even slower than it would be otherwise. And Azama doesn't give her the point of strength that the little bit of strength that she wants to hit some of those one-hit KO thresholds. That being said, for Chapter 14, that doesn't matter because not only is Azama not there, you can also just use Strength Tonic to get her there. There are 2 maps right next to a joint with a lot of calves in them. Usually, I think Effie is the best one to feed the calves to. If you're going to feed the calves to a shitter, Effie's the best shitter to feed the calves to on 14. But I don't think she's the best unit to feed the calves to on 17.
Yeah, definitely. So Charlotte is like better Arthur.
She literally does the exact same thing that she does in Conquest.
Yeah. Like she's just like a nice fighter parabot. Like she can do combat like fine, but you know her real strength lies in the fact that she gives strength to others.
Mm-hmm. And in this game, it's not like Xander's the only option. I would argue that Silas is a perfectly valid option. Though I do think that Silas is better off marrying somebody like Kagero. I think Charlotte Silas is fine, and if you want to get Kagero support earlier on, and not have to have her wait, Charlotte on somebody like you can do Charlotte Keaton if you really want, because Keaton is just that strong. You can do Charlotte Kaze. That'll get that man right out of his rut. Charlotte Saizo, as we said, is just great. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of units that don't really there's a lot of units that will benefit from her, which is good.
Yeah, and
I would put her like below Beruka.
Yeah,
crazy. Put Rinkah below actually.
There's like a lot of the thing against like for the reason why Charlotte is like so much better than Arthur here is because first of all, a lot of male units would prefer the strength boost than female units would, and not only that is that Charlotte also joins at level 10. And Arthur doesn't. He needs to level up at least once too. Charlotte can just she'll get recruited, she'll immediately be at level 10, she'll promote, and then you never have to see her again. And it's like she'll just be a solid backpack option, and she can even get rally strength pretty quickly if you want to use her as a quick rally bot. And Maid is a fine backpacking class too if you want to.
I'm fucking Jacob is gonna just talk our ear off about Maid Charlotte. Real talk. Maid Charlotte is a conquest build. Get real here. This is not Maid Charlotte is not a build for combat and Revelation. I wish it was, but it's not. Benny is even worse off than Effie in the sense that he has even less payoff. I don't think he's bad because he actually has literally anything that he can do. I don't think he's a high investment either. I just think he's really dog shit.
Yeah.
Post investment, because the thing is his bulk still does hold up, because that bulk is overkill for Conquest, so it's right at home, making him really really bulky unit in Revelation. But he joins right before a bunch of units that also have really good bulk, and also Benny. I will say Benny's base level still good. Level 15, he gets the job done. Problem is his strength is already bad in Conquest. In this game, it's not a pretty sight. Benny really struggles to deal a lot of damage. He needs to get and he needs to deal damage in order to get to Wary Fighter. Once he gets to Wary Fighter, he's set for life. He can just ride that out for the rest of the game. He's not going to be doing anything flashy. He's not going to be destroying enemies, but he does have Fierce Mian, which gives you 10 hit for your can't. It's something. But again, the problem is that Benny this is not a Conquest thing where Benny can't get EXP because enemies won't attack him in Conquest. In this game, Benny can't get EXP because he just can't kill enemies.
Yeah, the best thing to probably do with Benny is just to play super into his bulk. Later on, you can grab him. I think it's Pavis that he gets in General. Yeah, and then after that, he can get HP plus 5 in Fighter because
Berserker.
He gets Berserker as his Heart Seal class. Unfortunately, his friendship in Rev is Hayato, which is just that's.
He does have Rinkah access, so you could do fucking Oni the Blacksmith or Oni Chieftain Benny.
And that way you can play even more into his bulk. But yeah, he is an okay tank, but he's probably not going to be anything more than a tank.
And unlike a lot of these dads, he does the Ignatius Paralog is just a shit show. it's really not worth doing.
It's so hard. I think it's the hardest paralog in the game.
Yeah, even like it's hardest paralog in the game, and also it doesn't have any like real payoff.
Yeah.
Okay, Silas. This man was. They really just decided they wanted to make Silas jacked as fuck in every single route. That dude is meta defining. Be real. Have you seen his weapon ranks?
Yeah.
Like I think he joins with B rank lances and B rank swords, which is just ludicrous. You can he's another one of those units that's available in all 3 routes, which something that even Reina and Camilla can attest to. He has every single marriage that he could possibly want, every single friendship that he could possibly want. He can get into whatever class you want him to get into. Like you can get he's so versatile. You can get him into Wyvern Lord, you can get him into Ninja, you can get him into Mechanist if you want. You can get him into Bow Knight, you can get him into fucking Spear Master. You can really do whatever the hell you want with Silas. And the thing is, Silas, like some of these units are underleveled. Silas is actually overleveled for his join time in Rev. Silas joins you at a solid level 18 with almost 40 HP, 19 defense, 14 res, which is fucking absurd. Hold up, let me see something. Vale, CQ, Silas, 18. I don't even think he hits these stats like this. Yeah, he gets up. So if you auto-level Silas in Conquest, and then look at his Rev stats. So Rev Silas gets a free plus 11 HP from his auto-leveled Conquest self. 1 more strength, 2 more magic. Okay, thanks for that. He actually has a little less speed and luck, but he has 3 more defense and like 6 more res. They auto-leveled him, and then they even jacked him up after that. It's so absurd what they give Silas in this game.
Yeah, I believe he's like very, very close to his HP cap, like at base.
Yes, he 1 more HP level up and he's capped HP.
Yeah, and he's very likely to cap HP. His HP growth is pretty good.
He's got 50% HP, so he's like there's a 25% chance he doesn't cap HP before promotion if you level him up to level 20. Which isn't that hard, because again, like there's promoted enemies that you can give him kills to. Like giving your shitters the promoted enemy kills is tough. But like for example, on the next chapter, there's a bunch of calves. Giving your unpromoted bad units the promoted enemy kills, because you are going to have to fight the promoted enemies along with the unpromoted enemies at the start. So you take your bad unit, you level them up on the unpromoted enemies. You take your good unit, you level them up on the promoted enemies, and then Silas is the one that's leveling up on the promoted enemies. He cooks, man. He cooks hard as fuck. The 14 res really here is the big kicker. Soul Ninja Silas is already good, but the fact that they just give him 11 HP and 6 res on top of what he would normally have, and at a level that he normally wouldn't even get to, is just crazy tough. Let's try something here. What's a normal Soul Ninja Silas level up thing? So like level 15 Cavalier, 17 Mercenary, level 5 Hero, level 15 Master Ninja, I guess.
I usually wait to reclass him after he promotes, but yeah.
So yeah, okay. This is a really strong unit in Conquest. At level 15 promoted, he'll have 27 speed, 24 strength, like 35 HP, and then 18 defenses. Now let's take the same build into Rev, and it's even easier to get him. There's multiple avenues for him to get into Ninja, and some of those avenues you really are. Like, there are turns where Kagero just has nothing better to do, straight up. And Kagero and Silas work so fucking well together. Kagero gives him speed, which he likes, and eventually she also gives him strength, which you can never go wrong with. Silas gives Kagero strength and defense, which defense she doesn't care much about, but more strength is always good for her. But Kagero on Silas means that they have 8 movement while before either of them promote. And like at that point, you are just like giving each other like a ton of like flexibility and movement. Kagero Silas is the shit. But going back to my point, oh my god, I'm fucking hell. Vale. Okay, there we go. Do I really have to type this shit out? Okay, fine. Silas 15, 17, 5, 15, Merc, Hero, Stern. 45 HP, 24 defense, and res. Like this, he's going to be cracked. He's going to be cracked beyond all belief. And Silas always has like better than normal skill, so that's even gonna like keep piling on. Like Silas is going to absolutely destroy the game if you get him the support that he wants. And even if you don't, he's just gonna be a strong ass Cavalier.
And yeah, like he has B swords, B lances, like we talk so much hype about these weapon ranks because they really are just like so important. Like even if you want to eventually reclass like Kaze, or if you want to eventually reclass Silas into like a Master Ninja or something, you know, before he does that, you know, he can go into Hero to grab Soul with his like B rank and swords and have all these like effective weaponries for the subsequent maps. Like he'll have access to the Armor Slayer or the Beast Killer.
Brave weapons eventually.
Brave weapons too, yeah. And he just has like such an easy time actually, like, you know, fighting enemies, which a lot of
joins with a silver sword, and silver swords are good. Like silver weapons are good. It's just that you don't want to buy them, and the fact that you just get one for free is good.
So Nyx sucks, but she's good utility.
Yeah, she's like Orochi. Again, she's kind of interchangeable. Where Nyx is better as a utility unit, but Orochi joins earlier. She joins in. You get the recruitment in this game is so fucking funny because you get Silas, Nyx, Shura. It's like,
and then Ryoma.
Like absolute combat gods. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nyx is not good in this game at all.
No,
if you want to use Nyx, I think you have to, like, normally, like in Conquest, the outlaw Nyx thing is a meme. In this game, her magic isn't even going to be good enough, even if you did use her. I think you got to use the outlaw Nyx shit and get her like a really fucking good friendship or marriage or something that can get her something of value, man. I don't know. She can friendship Orochi, so the two shit units can get together and shit unit it out.
Yeah, like
shit bomb.
You know, like she has a high magic and speed stat, so like, you know, she might not have the worst time like actually reaching doubling in like 1-round thresholds against like less resistant enemies, but like, you know, hit rates are just gonna be like down the fucking drain.
But like even then, she quite literally is though, because she doesn't have inherent access to any classes that let her use her magic and don't have a mediocre to bad speed stat. Like, and her bases are fucking atrocious. Like even we say she's supposed to be fast, but she has 11 speed base. She has less speed than fucking Kagero did, and we didn't like Kagero's base speed, and she's in a class that gives her good speed. So like Nyx is like omega like dog shit.
Yeah, it's unreal, but you know, she's a great parabot.
Wait, she doesn't even join a level 10. What the fuck?
Wait, is it level 9? Oh yeah, it's her conquest bases. That's what it is.
No, wait. I'm pretty sure she has a little bit better than her conquest bases, right? She doesn't join with. Oh no, she does just have her conquest bases. God damn, they didn't even bother giving her a little bit more weapon rank, bro.
Yeah, it's like they forgot that Nyx existed, and then like we're like, where do we put her? Just chapter 15, go.
She has around half as much defense as Sakura, who joined like 12 chapters ago.
Yeah, it's like, don't use her as a combat unit, basically.
Now Shura, he's dead ass meta defining, but like it's a little bit of a struggle for the guy. Real talk.
I would say he's more low investment just because of his circumstance.
I don't think so, man. Because like, have you seen his benchmarks that he can hit?
He has crazy stats. Is like the big.
Yeah, he even has like a lucky 7 at base. So if you don't know, Shura in this game has his birthright bases, which means that he's level 10 promoted, which is both a blessing and a curse, because it's a blessing because Jesus Christ, his stats are absurd. I think. Hold up. Well, Reb Shura.
He has 20 strength at base.
Let's check Fuga's bases. Yeah, Shura has like. Fuga still has better stats, but like Shura has like comparable stats to Fuga, and Fuga is also level 10 promoted, but like you get Shura way earlier. The big problem with this is that Shura really likes all of his base class fucking sucks for him. Adventure is Shura's worst class by far. Every single one of his other classes is better for him, and the other classes all have skills that he really likes. For example, there's a lot of stuff you can do with Shura. You can go into Berserker, get HP plus 5 and rally strength. Go into Bow Knight, get rally skill. Double rally, Bow Knight that has 9 movement and good stats. That'll get you sorted for the rest of the game. You can go into Hero, get HP plus 5, Soul, go into Master Ninja or Mechanist, and just kick it. You can go into Master Ninja, eventually get Shuriken Fair, go into Mechanist, stick it out as just an offensive Mechanist for the rest of the game. It's just like he can do a lot of things, but but this every single part of this gets severely gimped by the fact that he's fucking level 10 promoted and he has 20 internal level. He will kill a promoted enemy and get 1 EXP from it.
Yeah, he doesn't gain experience for a long time until like after his join map. I think the earliest he starts like actually getting experience is like chapter 19 or something crazy like that. And even then he's not getting very much. So like it's a little bit of a struggle, but it's like it's not that bad.
The stats speak for themselves. Like Bo Knight Shura has 22 strength, 26 speed. It's fucking ludicrous.
Yeah, it is more than enough stats to like make up for his, like
and he gets a +1 on all of his weapon ranks too. So instead of his C rank bows, D rank stabs, he has B rank bows, C rank staves at base.
Yeah, and that actually helps him a bit with his reclassing too, because he can go into Bow Knight or Mechanist, and he won't be stuck in E rank hell, which is a little bit nice. But yeah, even in E rank hell, he'll still have like the strength. Like in Berserker, I actually very recently used Berserker Shura, and he was like consistently one rounding enemies even in like chapter 18.
Yeah,
and it's
and then, like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I've had Shura die on me because, like, normally in Conquest, like, I get him that HP +5 quickly, so, like his HP is not great, and his bulk is also not great, but, like, he gets HP +5, it shores up his defenses a lot, but, like, Shura can just straight up die. Like, if you like, just because he's level 10 promoted doesn't mean that he's, like, borderline immortal the way Fuga is sometimes. Shura will just die sometimes if you're not careful with him.
Yeah. Ryoma, I mean,
he's better than Silas, straight up. Better than Silas, maybe better than I say better than Camilla.
I think he's better than Camilla.
One of the older brothers has to be better than Camilla, bro. I think it's Ryoma.
Yeah.
Ryoma joins you on chapter the fire map. He can go all the way to the right and one round the boss and the map in 3 turns.
Yeah.
So that's pretty like par for the course for what Ryoma does for the rest of the game. Ryoma is way easier to get killed in this game than in Birthright. But he also has a lot more flexibility in this game. He has easier cav access with Xander. Pair up, Xander and him actually complement each other pretty well. Normally you'd have to do Ryoma Silas, but Silas is busy fucking Kagero, so like you got better stuff to do with him. Ryoma, the big difference between Ryoma and Xander is that Ryoma one rounds enemies. Xander survives enemies, and it's a bit of a give and take. You can depending on what you want to do with them. Ryoma, he's still obviously Ryoma, so like he is him. He's like, I must have amnesia. They forgot that I was him. He's like the Dracula flow guy. He goes off all the time. You just got to be a little careful with him. Like, don't place him in like don't act like this is Birthright. Place him in range of enemies. Even if he has weapon trying advantages against them, he could just die.
Yeah, like. It's very real that he may just get unlucky and then like die, but like despite that he's still Ryoma. He's very fast. He has a lot of strength, especially with the Raijinto. He will probably reach 1 round benchmarks, unlike almost any other unit in the entire game.
Bro's already at the 1 round benchmarks.
Exactly. It's like he's just Ryoma. There's not really much to say.
Yeah, one kind of unfortunate thing about Ryoma is that, like, his best defensive proc skill is Astra. So he doesn't have, like, soul access the way that Xander can have soul access. He has to rely on Astra for, like as the only, like, extra, like, buffer on enemy face. So you do have to work to get Ryoma enemy facing, like, everything.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it might seem, though it is pretty fucking easy, all things considered. Yeah. Dude, I don't know how to feel about Hinoka. Like, she should be good, but, like, I never fucking deploy her.
She's, like, it's just, I think she joins too late to be, like, too cool. She's like, okay.
I mean, her stats, like, you've seen her stats. Her stats are good.
Her stats are good. Like, she's a fine low investment, like, Kenshi Knight, if you want her to. Like, okay, this is gonna be annoying to do, but if you want to, she can friendship with Setsuna, and in just a few maps, because it's an A support. It's a fast
and then
A support.
both you can get the archer class lines when you go into Kinshi.
Yeah. And like Kinshis are good. She's a royal. She can proc Dragon Veins. Like she will have her utilities. And even if you want to make her like a support unit for some reason, she can go into Falcon Knight. But like
she has B rank lances, so like E rank bows even is totally fine. Like she has the tools she needs to succeed, but she's just kind of like cramping. She's just kind of occupying the same thing that Reina does, except worse. But like she scales a little bit better. Like Hinoka. Like hold up, Veil, Rev, Hinoka, Kinshi, Reina. Like Reina's what, like level 7 by now?
Probably.
Level 6?
Yeah, about that point.
Yeah, like Reina has +6 strength. Jesus Christ, I forgot how strong Reina is. Yeah, like a level 7 Reina has more HP and strength and HP and strength and speed, but Hinoka has just more, like a lot more bulk and magic. She can do some magic stuff with Hinoka, and also her personal is really fucking good.
Oh yeah, Hinoka's personal is insane, especially with like the bulk of Rev enemies. You definitely want to be using that a lot. And you know, again, Flyer and Rev, good. Like there's not
I would say she's better than Takumi, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Like even Setsuna will have like some use as a Kinshi Knight, because just Kinshi Knights are just good. So like,
I don't know about Setsuna as a Kinshi Knight, bro. I feel like that you are going to be lacking on that strength stat.
Oh yeah, you're not doing damage, but you know you can parry, and that's good.
You're stacking till the day is long. No, Azuma, bro, is just joins too late, man. I feel so bad for the guy.
Like I wouldn't even call him that great because Sakura can use him as. I would put him in bad.
He does join like at a pretty high level.
He does join decently.
Actually, no, I think he's like level 12 or some shit. He's level 13. He's ready to promote. Like you look at his stats and you go, damn, this shit is good. If I got it 10 chapters earlier, like 28 HP, 10 strength, 13 speed, 14 defense, 10 res. This isn't bad. This is pretty fucking good. But like the problem is that like you want to, like, if you could instantly promote him. And if he was at a level where you could instantly promote him, like level 17, level 19, something like that, you could instantly promote him and then like use him next chapter. Maybe work on his lance rank enough to get him beast killer access. Like he would cook. But like the hard-bodied king that Azuma is in Birthright just doesn't exist in this game to the same extent. Like the whole like mechanist. Going to apothecary, going to mechanist, do all that shit. Like, you just don't have the time to get that accomplished. 2 chapters from now, you're heading into battle, and that shit, every enemy is going to be promoted, and their stats are going to be absurd. You just don't have the time to spare.
Yeah, you need a crazy amount of favoritism to actually make him work. And like his stat line is still there. He will still be able, like, if you get him there, Azama will still be able to, be Azama. But that's exactly the problem. He isn't allowed to be Azama.
He has 2 chapters to assemble the Azama state, and you don't have the time. That's not enough.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like, unlike those 2 chapters are simultaneous. This chapter, and then you immediately head into chapter 17. Like, so you can't, like, he doesn't get he doesn't get the meals. He doesn't get nothing. Nobody gets meals, but Azama also suffers from not being able to get meals. Like, maybe a bit harder than your other units. Like, he's struggling hard. Maybe spicy take. I think Setsuna is one of the better shitters in this game.
It's not that. I don't think it's that spicy. I think there's definitely like she is.
I don't think she's the best. Like I mean, when I say shitter, I mean like unit that's like underleveled. So like the Elise squad, like every unit that joins on that map except for Silas, like the Hinoka squad minus Hinoka herself, the Xander squad, the Leo squad. And units like Nyx and Orochi and all these like really bad units, like Hana. This Sakura squad too. Like I think out of those units, Setsuna is probably like the 2nd or 3rd best like prospect that that you can. If you want to level up one of these really bad units, Setsuna, she will be able to do it. She still has her. One big problem with Setsuna is that. As I said, the chapter she joins on it's a simultaneous, like it's a consecutive chapter, so you don't have like inventory access until the next chapter, and she joins with a steel unit, which fucking sucks. You want to get her like a bronze bow +2, but you got to get your army all the way up. She doesn't join close to your army, so that's kind of a problem for her. Good thing is she does join with quick draw, and she does have her like her signature high speed. She has 17 speed, which is not bad. That's more than Silas has at this point, actually. She can kill enemies. There's like I think she might be able to hit some doubling thresholds with like with a Hinoka pair up. Let me check.
She can double enemies on her
17. Oh yeah, she can double these fighters on her own. Unfortunately, they have 35 HP and 14 defense, so you need 18 plus 14. 18 plus 14, you would need 32 attack, which because I don't think Setsuna's hitting that.
with like Rallying Cry and a Scarlet Backpack maybe, and like a Bronze Bow +2. Actually, hold up. Rev Setsuna Bronze Bow +2. Okay, there we go. So she has like 23 attack, 3 more with Scarlet, 3 more with Scarlet, 2 more with so 20, 24, 25. So like you would need like 5 more strength on top of that to get her 1 rounding, but she does do the damage. She does the damage that she does. She doesn't kill is the thing, but you can get her. You can get her doing her job pretty well. The fact of the matter is that bows are just good, and you have access to a good number of bows. 11 strength is bad, but it's not that bad. She can go into sniper, get damage stacking, and the fact is, sniper is really good in Rev because there are dodgy enemies, and the fact that and the dual Yumi is actually one of the few Yumis that's not bad. So like Setsuna with her overkill speed, she's one of the. She might be able to approach the Reina Kaze speed tiers. And the double sword masters and stuff like that. And with a dual Yumi, she'll probably be doing enough damage to kill sword masters if she's like promoted.
One easy way to fix her strength that is she actually supports Arthur in this game.
And that must be a disastrous support.
It's like, you know, like you'll have to be deploying Arthur with Setsuna, which is like 2 shitters on like with each other, but like it's fine. It's like
that doesn't sound that bad. I mean, if you're really that worried, you could just use Rinkah or like Charlotte or something. Even if they don't support, it's still strength.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems fine.
Yeah. It like she's passable. It's just like she'll never have like super amazing strength without like proper investment, but like need to like with the investment she can get there.
Okay, yeah, Scarlet just dies in Rev, so like we can't really. She's there for 1 chapter, and she's pretty good for that chapter. But like get real here.
Yeah, like she would be good, but
because you have to choose to deploy her on chapter 17, and you would never choose to deploy her on chapter 17. The second you head into chapter 18, she's dead. So you can theoretically personal quarters abuse to marry Scarlet and still get her killed. But no, don't bother.
Yeah, there's no point. Xander's
Xander,
awesome.
Yeah, I would put Xander I would put one of them's above Camilla, one of them's below Camilla. I'd say like Xander's great because like his bulk really is just that good. He does a lot of damage. He doesn't really double, but he can double like generals and stuff. But that's about it. He's just really strong. His stats are the exact same as in Conquest, and those stats still work.
His support with Ryoma actually really helps him out because Swordmaster is probably one of Xander's best classes.
Yeah, it's like if I have DLC available, I'll put Xander into Lodestar, and Lodestar is basically just Swordmaster. Swordmaster Xander is pretty funny, but it's surprisingly effective, especially because like the difference between Paladin is actually not that bulky of a class. Surprisingly, the difference between Paladin and Swordmaster's defense it's significant, but it's not like the difference between something like Great Knight or General or like Blacksmith versus Swordmaster. Like it's just a little bit, and Xander still has his personal massive defense that goes along with it, and he probably gets a what's his luck growth in Swordmaster? Must be out of this damn world. He has 75% luck in Swordmaster.
That'll crazy.
Do
it. Plus the Siegfried I think gives dodge too, so it's like, you know.
Yeah, the world's least critical man. And again, he has his damage stacking. Like he just has so much personal access to damage stacking. I would suggest trying to get him, if possible. I would suggest trying to get him them Wyvern skills, strength +2 lunge before getting him into Swordmaster, because that goes pretty hard. And Xander as a Wyvern Lord is still pretty fucking strong. He doesn't have Siegfried axes, but he can still just use like a bronze axe or something. He only needs like 3 levels in Wyvern. However, usually what I do is I get him 1 level on his join map, and then put him into Wyvern, and then get him like 3 levels. I think it's just 2 levels, unless I want rally defense, which I don't really care much about on Xander. I get him 2 levels for strength +2 and lunge, and then I just work on getting Ryoma support with Xander, and then reclass Ryoma. I reclass Xander.
Yeah, and even in Rev, like Xander's D and Lances is also still pretty good because that gets him Javelin and Beast Killer immediately. So like his time in Wyvern isn't that bad, and also in his join map there's a lot of like Cavalier Paladins too. So it's like he's in a good spot.
Dude, I feel like you could unironically run Life and Death on Xander and just just eat the 10 defense penalty and live with it.
Oh yeah, no, he's perfectly fine with it. And like, especially if you like pair that with like Astra Vantage, and like he's unkillable. Or like if you want to do like, you know,
I feel like you don't even need the Vantage. You just say, okay, he has 10 less defense, he's still Xander, and then you just kill the enemies.
Yeah.
You would because again, he has Chivalry, which is pretty fucking good for him. It's just +2 defense for him. Also, that's another thing we didn't talk about. Ryoma's personal is absolutely fucking busted.
True.
It's unreasonably powerful for him. Takumi has a personal that requires some kind of level of like planning and preparation. Ryoma just says, nah, fuck it, just give me. Nah, Ryoma just says, nah, I'd win, and he unlike the person who actually says that, he's not a fraud.
Ryoma just wants like untrained Beruka backpack, and then he cooks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's pretty good. Now, finally, after like 40 units, we have our second mage. We have Leo here. I would say Leo's like borderline, like he's kind of like Hayato, where it's borderline meta to fighting. Like you need Leo in this fucking game.
I would rank him above.
You're not getting. You're not making it.
Yeah. Leo is just like a really just like solid mage option. Like, you know, I mean, out of 2, right?
And also, like, the nice thing is that like he has even more marriage options. I usually do Leo Sakura in this game. It's not a fast support, but like it gets the job done. He still can't A+ Camilla. Which would be great for him, but he still can't do that. He still has to be ferried around, but against, if Sakura's flying around, Leo can just get taken with her. Yeah, I mean, he does the mage thing. Brynhilder is a really strong weapon, and that's one thing that he actually is valuable, because like 10 might Brynhilder, if he can double a general, he'll probably be able to kill with Brynhilder, especially if it's an axe general. And you can just buy the Horse Spirit, Calamity Gate, and Lightning for him. He just has access to that. Unfortunately, he's still at his level 2 self, but he still that just means that he's like fucking stupid underleveled for this time. Rev Leo, and he still has his base 20 magic, so like he is still that guy. Like effectively 22 with Malefic Aura, 34 HP, 16 defense, 20 reses. It could be worse. I mean, it could be better, but it really isn't that bad. He's definitely not the I would say like Hayato and Leo are like very like important units to use.
Yeah, and Leo's join time is actually like decently nice. So, like chapter 17, he doesn't totally love, but in chapter 18, there's like a lot of Onis and like bow units that are like merchants that like it's easy to catch him up to the rest of your army, even if he is like a little bit under level. What most units will be at the time he joins. And he's also a kind of like a mixed tank. It's not as good as he is in Conquest, I'm gonna be honest, but you know, he's
you
still
definitely don't want to be using Nosferatu in this game ever. He's just Horse Spirit stuff. The nice thing is that again, you have a more depth of options to support what he does.
Now Odin.
Odin is just actually ass. Like the Horse Spirit shit, he can't even do that in this game. Like his bad stats, bad join time, inability to contribute meaningfully. Like I'm sorry, bro. He took unbelievable L's in the transition. Similarly with Niles, honestly, they're both bad.
They're both so terrible, and they're kind of like hard to train too. Like Odin is okay in chapter 18 for the similar reasons as Leo is, but then Odin is just like he's even worse off than Leo. He has just like no.
And Niles just does no damage.
Yeah.
And struggles to hit enemies sometimes. Like it's just not a pretty sight.
Yeah, and famously, Niles can't even use his capture ability like Orochi can.
Yeah, because almost every single map, like aside from like Paralogs, the map Niles joins is the last map that doesn't take place in Vala. So congratulations, you get to use it for chapter 18, and that's chapter 17. That's it, and the Paralogs and stuff, obviously. So if you do like a late Forest Paralog, you can still get Gazak.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it ain't it, Chief. Like it's just not it. Laszlo, I feel like he's one of those units, like he's like Azama basically, where he really just gets fucked over by his join time so heavily. Definitely less than Azama, because he's in a class that allows him to perform combat, and his base level is like 17 or something. So like he's close enough to promotion that it's not a big deal. But like the problem is that his speed fucking sucks. He has 16 speed. It's just not that good. And his bulk as well is like especially catching up to him right now. He has 12 defense. 17 strength is pretty good. Fancy footwork is always good. But
assembling the rallies is even harder in this game than it is in Conquest.
If you want to use him as a combat unit too, it's like he actually isn't the worst option. Like, because similar with Perry actually. He can be given an Armor Slayer in Chapter 17, and he can just go down.
But I don't think the Armor Slayer is
side.
enough for him to hit the benchmarks, though, because the generals, the Armor Knights are on forts and shit.
I forget what the benchmarks is, but I've definitely had him killing them. Yeah, he can, like, it's not though. He's not in the worst spot. He's like, in a sort of similar position as, like, I would say Effie. Like, he's not the most difficult to actually, like, catch up with.
It's like the start is not horrible, the end is not horrible, the training the start is not horrible, the training is not horrible, the end is kind of ass, like, because what you get out of Laszlo is just not a unit that's strong enough for Revelation. Meanwhile, I think Perry is a unit that's, like, unironically, like, worth the squeeze. I think she's the best shitter that you get, straight up.
I would say
definitely below Saizo and Mozu. I would say below Mozu. Like, her or Mozu around the same tier. Basically, the whole advantage of Perry in this game is that she joins with first of all, she joins with a boosted weapon rank and stats compared to Conquest. So she actually has better stats than in Conquest, and her bases in Conquest are actually fine enough for her to deal damage. Perry with a Beast Killer just fucking kills enemies with the right backpack. She has 15 attack speed with the Beast Killer, which, if you remember, on her join chapter, the Cavaliers have 11 speed, so she needs a grand total of, let me do the math here, 1 point of speed to be able to double the Cavs, and she definitely one-rounds them. She doesn't want to KO them, which is unfortunate, but she does one-round them. So you can give her, like, any kind of boost, basically. Keaton works, that's the best one, probably. You could, if you can afford somebody like, I don't know, like, Selena, somebody, like, I guess Laszlo even could just work, because he gives her speed and defense. And the Great Knights, she needs 2 points of speed to double. The Troubadours, by the way, she just Okos. The Great Knights, she would need 2 points of speed to double, and the Great Knights, the advantage of the Great Knights is that the Great Knights, unlike the Generals, equip swords. So Laszlo could actually probably deal with the Great Knights. That's one thing that we forgot to mention. Laszlo could definitely deal with the Great Knights. So Armor Slayer Perry will be able to do that. And the thing with Perry is that her offensive growths are fucking ridiculous. She's got, like, better offensive growths than Camilla, straight up. So, like, if you take Perry up to, like, levels, she joins at level 16. If you take her 3 levels, and then you promote her into Paladin, she's gonna have, like, 19, 18 offenses, which is not that great. But, like, that you can do this promotion on map and then keep getting her kills. And remember, she has elbow room and she has bloodthirst. And bloodthirst is especially valuable in Revelation. Like, for example, you get her to, like, what level is it? Level 3 promoted? You could probably get her to level 3 promoted by the end of this map.
I've definitely gotten her to promotion level at the end of the map. One of my favorite parts about Perry in this game is that she, like, her personal skill in Rev, I value a lot more than I do in Conquest, because I think her personal skill is actually, like, super important. It gives her more a rally in speed, skill, strength, and magic. The magic is useless pretty much, but the other 3 stats, speed, strength, and skill, are, like, all stats that you really, really want in Revelation. Especially with, like, the high bulk of enemies, because, like, Perry's a physical unit, and she's going to be, fighting more, like there's a lot of, like, armored units and, like, bulky paladins and stuff, and while she does have things like the effective weaponries, she can still end up struggling, like, almost every other unit, to actually reach 1-round thresholds, and that extra, like, boost from Bloodthirst is pretty useful, especially in maps like Chapter 19, where you just get free replicate on every single one of your units, which is really fun.
Yeah, the replicate Bloodthirst strat goes crazy. Also, Chapter 19 is another just fucking excellent map for feeding Perry, because you pick the side where she has the better matchup, and then on the other side she gets a better matchup by the fact that she gets, like, +4 to all stats, all her offensive stats. Like on the bottom, there's a bunch of, like, Cavs, Dark Knights. She absolutely owns those guys.
Does she have any good friendships in this game? From Birthright? I know she has Charlotte friendship. She gets Kagero. Oh, we are so back.
Oh, wait. Dude, Mechanist Parry? That's crazy.
Nah, dude, I'm thinking Master Ninja, because, like, I wonder what her strength is. Like, her speed is probably through the fucking roof. Rev, Parry, Master Ninja. It's probably like 85%. 70%. So she has 55% strength, 70% speed, and also the damage stacking skills you get from Cavalier. Yeah, no, this definitely goes hard. You do lose your Lance rank, which is unfortunate, but like you would do this after, obviously. Dude, I'm definitely trying Kagero Parry friendship. I got a lot of plans for my next run. No, I just think that Parry's good, and also she has a lot of like outs from Paladin if you want to. She can marry Xander very quickly and get access to Wyvern Lord. She can marry Laszlo pretty quickly, get access to Bow Knight. She just has access to a lot of classes. She can make it work basically.
Now Fuga's really good.
Yeah, he's really fucking good. He doesn't even join that late. He's there for like most of Vala.
Yeah, he joins at after chapter 18. So chapter 19.
Chapter 18. I thought he joined like at the Izana. Damn.
Yeah, no, he's the first castle join, and he has stats up the ass, to put it lightly.
Yeah, he joins level 10 promoted like Shura, but he has even better stats than Shura. He has 29 strength, 29 defense, 41 HP, 25 speed. He's not even slow. Is the crazy thing. He has B rank swords, C rank lances, C rank axes. His reclasses are pretty fucking good. Because he starts off in Master of Arms from Samurai. He has Oni Savage access and he has Monk access. The Monk access is not that great. Like you can go Great Master for renewal or whatever, but you can pretty easily go Oni Chieftain or Blacksmith and be happy with it. He has a lot of damage stack skills from his base class line. You can get Swordfair, Life and Death, and go into and Swordfair and Life and Death. Go into Swordmaster, just start killing enemies. He just has a lot of stuff going for him. He doesn't have any supports except for with Hayato, and Hayato also I think gives him Hayato gives him Diviner access instead of Monk access, which is also just not helpful for him at all. But I mean, it's like he doesn't really need anything. He like the tech with Fuga is usually you use one of your arm scrolls on him. And then he caps all of his weapon ranks with one arm scroll, and then you can immediately like have him like do Life and Death, Swordfair, Brave Sword stuff after 5 levels. So you would go into Swordmaster for two levels, get Swordfair, head back into Master of Arms, grab Life and Death. So you just do Brave Sword stuff, kill enemies. You can he can use pretty much. He's got like Dusel weapon ranks. He can use any fucking weapon in the game.
Yeah.
His Fuga is just not going to let you down. I would say he's a little worse. No, he's probably better than Shura. They do the same thing, but Fuga's a little better. I would say that like Fuga is, funnily enough, he ends up feeling like an afterthought a lot of times, and then you get him and you're like, holy shit, I forgot how good this guy was. But even then, like the lack of flying is always something that hurts. Obviously, this is one of those units where you want to compensate for his lack of flight because he's just that strong. Yeah, I mean, Fuga doesn't fuck around. He gets to the job and he gets it done.
Flora is our last unit here, and unfortunately, not good.
Yeah, she's bad.
Terrible. The problem with Flora is it's the same problem that she has in Conquest, where like she joins really, really late to the point where like other units just do everything that she can do but better.
Well, the nice thing here is that she's not outclassed by generics, because I don't think you can get like good generic maids in this game.
Yeah, that's true. But like she joins at chapter
23,
and that is just so late that like it's too late to do anything really.
And she has 16 magic, not even like 20 magic or anything. She has just 26 skills. If you have a really high rank staff that you want to be using for some reason, like maybe to make a boss kill easier for Enfeeble, she'll hit her staves. But I don't know. Like other than that, she's really not doing much.
I always recruit her in both routes because I just like the free staff bot for late game, specifically end game really. But other than that, not really anything she does that's notable.
You can recruit her even later if you want for her to be even worse off. But no,
Yeah, you know who would actually cook in this game is Yukimura. Dude, Yukimura would go off in this game.
Dude,
Too
I
bad
wish
he's
it was in this
birthright
game.
exclusive.
Yeah, same with
that's the real
Azama. Like,
scam.
I don't know why these two, they just don't put these two in the game.
Izana, I don't think would cook as hard as Yukimura though. Yukimura just giving you +5 free hit for your entire party and with base stats like that is fucking crazy.
Well, is there anything that you want to like shuffle around or like anything?
I think we should revisit one of the mages being put into meta defining. Maybe move Shura down. Put one of the mages up because like
I was thinking like Leo meta defining it.
Shura
honestly,
down. I think that's fair. Fair.
I think this is like, I mean, they're honestly interchangeable really because like they're both just like really
how
solid.
Valuable they are, but like no, that they're I mean, like again, this game gives you 2 good mages.
Yeah. It's like
you get like 12 mages and 2 of them are good. Maybe move Keaton above Takumi. Maybe. I think if there's any shifting to be done here, it's in like the Kaze, Hinoka, Takumi, Keaton area. That's if there's any shifting to be done, it's in that area.
I think I would rather I would dare I say put Keaton above Hinoka.
Yeah, because like Hinoka's like flyer number 7.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you get so many flyers. And don't get me wrong, you need them all, but like by the time you get Hinoka, you don't need all of them.
So yeah, is there anything you would like to plug at the end of this?
I think I have a Fate's Conquest best weapons in the game video coming out soon. I don't know what Dave's going on. I don't know what's going on with Dave. I think he's been playing way too much Under Night In-Birth 2 because it's coming out, because I think the early access version just dropped and I think he has access to it, and he's been playing that in Tekken 8. So it might get a little delayed, but look forward to that when it comes out. If you haven't checked out my Conquest Among Us series, it's a good time. Other than that, I don't really know. What else? No, I think that's about it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was fun.